If you've ever been irrationally attached to a stock, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. We look to have a busy day today. We've got some data that's making the market volatile. We have a bunch of new news runners. We've got a former runner from yesterday. We just had an interview with the Candle Therapeutics CEO. Big stuff on deck here today. Let's roll it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning, folks. Can we get another shout out and maybe some smashed up likes for AB securing the CADL CEO the day after its huge run? Awesome stuff, AB. If you're still out there, great job on that. We got a lot more stuff to go through here today. Bringing on my main man, 13. How you doing today? Happy Friday.
Oh, I'm doing great because, as you just said, it's Friday. We have the weekend ahead of us, folks. Let's have one more great day of trading and get to it.
Speaking of one more great day of trading, we also have one more great guest to bring on, and that is Nick Brown. Nick, how are you doing this morning? Happy Friday, my man. You are muted.
We got a jobs report out of the way. There we go. Happy Friday. It's the weekend once officially this show is over.
That's what I like to hear. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right into the SPY. We're going to talk about the chart first, then we'll get into that data. Nick, I'll turn it over to you to kind of run through that data, and then we'll move through some of the stocks. I know pre-market prep ran a little bit late, so we're a little bit truncated here. Prior to the market open, we will go through it as fast as we can. Okay, D's saying it's a crash Friday. Well, we shall see. Looking at the SPY here, our pattern is finally broken. We've really kind of started to roll over here. It actually looks like we kind of ran into this 524 top. Does look like the next leg down here is going to be that 50-day moving average. I've got that at about 506, just under 507. Current price here on the SPY is 514. As Nick mentioned, we just had the jobs data that we are going to cover pretty soon. But to me, let's see where we end up going here today. I still have the trailer on my SQQQ, so technology down here today. Can't possibly lose on that trade, but looking to actually have that extend some of its gains. 13, what do you see here in this chart? What are your targets here for today? What are you watching?
Well, after we had that sell-off, we broke through several levels yesterday, and now we're going to be looking to get some of those levels that we outlined previously to provide support and possibly resistance. This morning, we've already received resistance from the 515.50 level that we were talking about. I think it was last month I first brought it up. That tested resistance this morning after the BLS jobs report, and now we're trading lower. Once the market opens, I would look to that level to be a level of resistance. We also have 512 as support. We did not get down there all the way yesterday before reversing and coming back up this morning. So that's going to be a level of support that I'm going to be looking for today. Ultimately, I do believe we're going to be going lower. That BLS jobs report was way too hot, in my opinion, and it's probably going to affect the rate cut sentiment all the way through the end of the year.
Okay, indeed. And you said it earlier in the pre-show fist fight here. You were saying that this market seems to be driven on rate cuts, and the news today seems like, hey, I don't think we're going to be getting as many rate cuts. That's really the simple calculus here. Nick, fill us in with the details on the jobs report here this morning.
Yeah, so this was a hot jobs report. 303,000 jobs were added. The estimate was for 214,000. Previously was 275,000. Unemployment rate came in at 3.8. Estimate was for 3.8, so in line with expectations. A tick down. Previously it was 3.9. Average hourly earnings came in at 0.3. Estimate was for 0.3. Previously it was only 0.1, so a bit hotter than expected. And then hourly earnings year over year came in at 4.1%. Estimate was for 4.1%. Previously was for 4.3%. And participation rate actually came in a tenth better than expected, 62.7. Estimate was for 62.6. Previously was 62.5. So how does this jobs report compare? This was the best headline jobs print since May of 23. And this was also the lowest year over year hourly earnings growth since June of 21.
Okay, inopportune time for me to take a sip of my tea right there. Good stuff there, Nick. Again, this is going to be probably the big thing driving the market here today. I'm expecting volatility least in the morning, but wouldn't be surprised if this stuck around all day. Real quick, as a reminder, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need help getting above that 25K day trading threshold, Trade the Pool is the place to go. If you need more buying power there, also the place to go. So we really appreciate them. Okay, real quick here. I want to get to this. Carmen saying, I'm going to ask in this show, why do we really need rate cuts? Well, here's the thing, Carmen. We've had, free money for so long. We really need to make sure that inflation does not become entrenched, because obviously inflation, one of the biggest things hurting the middle class and lower right now. Why do we need rate cuts? I personally don't think we do. I would rather get inflation under control. But what I will say is that small cap or startup companies, they are benefited by lower rates, especially if they need cash. You want to be borrowing cash at lower interest rates. That's going to help your business get off the ground. In terms of growth, in terms of getting new businesses started, they definitely want new rates. Want low rates, excuse me. In my opinion, my focus would be on ensuring inflation is not entrenched, because that's really going to lead to more problems down the road and be harder to solve. That would be my take on it. 13, do you have a take on this to answer, Carmen? I know I'm putting you on your spot. So
no, it's fine. Yes, there's some reasons why we would need rate cuts, but I agree that having rate cuts up here to tame inflation is what is needed. We just run into problems, as Cameron was just mentioning. We're going to run into some problems with something that's going to break. It's probably going to be some regional banks. Once again, where the Fed's even mentioned that they've expected to see smaller banks get absorbed as a result. The thing is that rate cuts, they serve a lower rates serve a number of purposes. It helps drive growth. It helps people be able to borrow. It helps allow the government to borrow with lower debt service. So there's a lot of different things that lower rates will do for us, but we do also need higher rates to slow things down when they get too crazy, like we've just had. So there's cases for both. It's just a matter of timing, and I think that's really what the issue is coming down to right now, is the timing. The Fed just mentioned yesterday from several members, there's a risk of waiting too long, and there's a risk of not doing it soon enough. So it's just trying to find that sweet spot. And I think, to your point, we're probably going to see something break before they start cutting.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Good stuff there, folks. Okay, real quick, Sally, good morning. I think I owed you a register ring from yesterday. A CADLOUST. You've been absolutely smoking it recently. And yeah, sorry, we don't rerun the happy hour show, but I would suggest that you keep up with the chat, because our guy Joe here, or 13, does an excellent job with recaps and taking notes, which is something that I did not do prior. So a big time shout out to 13 there. Okay, let's take a look at some of the stocks here real quick. I know we've only got about 7 minutes till we open here. I am going to try and be mindful of that. First, I'm going to go very briefly, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, 13. So we'll just try and do this as fast as possible. Right. First one here is going to be GCTS. This is GCT Semiconductor Holdings. GCT Semiconductor shares are trading higher after the company and Aramco signed an MOU to accelerate development of 4G and 5G ecosystems in Saudi Arabia. This stock moved from a 6 handle to a 12 handle. We've actually pulled back to the VWAP here, which is about 10.5. Big volume here today. This one might be the stock du jour. I'm definitely going to wait and see how this trades around the opening print. 13, what do you got on this?
So this one signed an MOU with Aramco for development of 4 and 5G rollout. They have a 4.04 million share float. Didn't really find too many other things going on with this one, but being that it has less than 10 million shares, shouldn't be too hard to move around. No reverse splits that I could find, no high short interest that I could find with this one.
Beautiful. Next one here is going to be MDIA, and 13 brought up a really good point. There's also an MDAI stock, so be careful here today. It's the first thing I'm going to warn you about. MDIA, however, that is the one that really popped here. Popped in the after hours yesterday, popped again here in the pre-market, although it's retraced 95% of its pre-market move here. The catalyst going on here. MediaCo shares are trading higher after a 13D amended filing shows Standard General LP reported a 95.2% stake in the company as of April 1st. So 13D here popping this stock. I know we've kind of retraced some, but we're at least holding where we held in the after hours yesterday. What are you thinking on this one, 13?
Aside from that that stake that you just mentioned, I didn't see any other news. We've seen in the past how some of these 13D filings can just really make a stock move because it's enticing to traders and investors to have somebody with a huge position in it. It makes them feel more comfortable to take that risk. They only have 3.16 million shares, though, so very low float, could move around quite a bit, could knife quite easily. I don't see any short interest or reverse split on this one either.
Okay, good stuff there on MDAI. Next one here is going to be FAAS. Digital Asia shares are trading higher amid volatility following the company's recently completed business combination with Stonebridge Acquisition Corp and NASDAQ debut. So this stock was again in a 6 handle, popped to about almost 18, and we're right back down here at 780. So if volatility is your jam, perhaps this is the stock for you here today. I want these stocks that pop huge and then retrace all of that move. The very next thing that I need to see here is, does this stock have any type of strength, or did it just have that strength on that initial impulse move and the regressive move is the death knell for it? That's what I'm going to be watching here out of the open. Let's see if any of these firm up. Next we have here on the list, is going to be HUBC. This is Hub Cybersecurity. Hub Cybersecurity shares are trading higher after the company announced $8 million in financing via a straight debt arrangement. So this popped as high as 160. It's actually doing a really good job staying above the VWAP. What do you think on this one?
8.7 million shares. They did do a reverse split on 1-for-10 reverse split in December on the 15th. But aside from that 8 million financing, didn't see any other news. It's quite a good amount of cash for them to be picking up, being that they have such a low float and a low market cap. So this is going to help them move up in terms of their valuation. But how high this goes on volatile trading, can't really say.
All right, there we go. We got about 3 minutes here. We're going to go quickly. Terra, this is ticker TARA. This is Proterra Therapeutics. Proterra Therapeutics shares trading higher after the company announced an alignment with the FDA on registrational path forward for intravenous choline chloride. The company also announced an oversubscribed $45 million private placement financing. The stock popped almost as high as 650. We've come all the way back into 475. We are beneath the VWAP, and we've had several attempts at the VWAP, and we're unable to cross it. So that's going to be one of the things that I'm looking for here to see if we can do this, or to see if we can get above this. Do you have anything on this one?
Just a 7.5 million share float. The thing I liked about the private placement that was oversubscribed is that it shows some enthusiasm for the company on the growth side. So to me, this would make me believe that at some point, Terra, we're going to be seeing frequently as they continue to put out news. I don't think this is the last time, maybe this month, that we'll see news on Terra if they're going to have that much enthusiasm for this company with that private placement.
Okay, and right now here, this is breaking down a little. That's one to watch. CADL, this is a continuation from yesterday. Again, shout out to AB. We just interviewed the CEO on the last show. Really good stuff here. This looks like it's holding a lot of the gains, likely to be on relative volume list for anyone that was doing scanning last night. So absolutely keep your eye on CADL. And then I want to finish off with this one. We've got 22. So we've got someone copying 13's name here. We got this company's XXII instead of XIII. So let's be careful in the chat here today, folks. 22nd Century Group here. They did pop in the after hours. They've really bled back a lot of the gains here today. So just be careful with that one. Just wanted to mention that. Sound also moving up here today a little bit. So good stuff there. We'll obviously watch that. Sound actually looks like it's rolling over here, so it was up a little bit higher. We'll see how that goes. We are about to open. What are we at here? We are at 45 seconds until market open. Let me flip over to my scanner here, and let's take a look and see what's moving. It's like looks like my indicator. By the way, we did have a new version of Benzinga Pro deploy yesterday, and it is awesome. So make sure that you refresh. If you have any trouble with your layout, simply load the old one. You should be fine. Actually works a lot better. The improvements have been great. So shout out to our dev team there.
Guys,
okay.
we're already getting some Fed speak, Ryan. I don't mean to interrupt, but
No problem.
Getting some headlines. Fed's barking at saying that that's a quite strong jobs report. And I know we're about to open. As 13 is laughing at me.
I'm laughing at his comment. Sorry.
Did you want to hit the Johnson & Johnson shockwave news?
Let's hold on that for a sec. Let's take a look at this opening print, and then we'll go over that. I'm not sure that's going to be one of the bigger movers here. Let's see though.
I'm sorry, Nick. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Barkin's comments. Oh, it's quite a hot jobs report. Yeah, no shit.
I could have told
You
that
think?
from the beginning.
The Fed's funny sometimes.
They
tell
are
great
funny.
jokes.
They are indeed funny. Okay. I'm going to flip over to trade the pool here. Oops, I got to add it first to the screen. There we go. So let's take a look and see what's moving here. I'm kind of just looking around. I have no issue here. Charts are still frozen. Try refreshing. I have no issues with the charts this morning. I know that there was a chat update issue, but I've had absolutely no issues with the chart. Please try refreshing or logging out and logging back in. I have not been able to duplicate that. FAAS trying to trade up here on that first move.
Hubsy getting a mention. Oh, yeah, that one's moving out of the gate here. This one could break the pre-market consolidation that we got. It looks like it wants to do that at about 160. That looks like a good spot for some breakout movement. It wants to get to 168, though, and take that out. That's the high from pre-market. My phone is already talking to me this morning. Get out of here. Marcus Sniper saying, donut is popping. D-nut, Krispy Kreme, right? More news with McDonald's.
They actually got an overweight. Piper Sandler actually upgrades Krispy Kreme to overweight from neutral. Basically, it's following the company's announcement that the Krispy Kreme donuts would be sold at McDonald's.
Oh. Yeah, Hub C.
A Krispy Kreme Big Mac is coming. You can book that.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't need a self-induced heart attack, but I'm sure that that's coming.
That's why healthcare is seeing more service workers, because they know that that's coming. It was a joke. But anyway, HUBC, Hub C, that one, great call, market or WIS. That was popping right out of the gate here. It's trying to get up to the 168 pre-market high. It's almost there. Good stuff.
TSVT also being mentioned by a number of chatters here. Good stuff on TSVT. Looks like that did pop here, although it's coming back in. Excuse me. Let's see if that reclaims its VWAP and goes for those highs.
Getting a mention of MDIA. That one's moving through VWAP.
HUBC coming back on here to the highs 169. And there's also some size there at 170.
Nice. It broke that pre-market high. Just noticing that CADL was going lower, but trying to recover. Might be a bounce there, possibly. Yeah, MDA and Hub C looking good so far. Hub C coming back way in after hitting 169. MDIA still has some levels to get through. First one being $3, and then I think 340 will be the next resistance level to get through.
Okay. QBC pulling back to the VWAP here. MDIA right to its VWAP here. SPY still hanging out lower here. Those SQQQ calls that I left the trailer on and still going to hang on. Hope we kind of pop on that one. Maybe get a little bit of a flush here. MDIA, this through the VWAP now, at least on Trade the Pool at the Actually, no, through the VWAP too on Thinkorswim. MDIA going here on good volume too.
Cattle looks like it's getting some strength here, trying to break through the pre-market consolidation. Needs to get through the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, which I have at 748. It's going. Go, baby, go.
If you're ever in someone else's car and you see that go baby go button, don't hit it.
Oh, I want to hit it.
I know exactly what it does. I know, but you can't. MDIA halted here.
I think I'd need a chopper and some police cars following me first.
There we go.
We're talking about the same movie, right?
Yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds, of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
CADL looks like a little bit of a dip there. Got bought, returning back to the VWAP here, but it is volatile. Careful here.
Great job, Jeremy, with MDIA.
EJH pushing up out of the gate here on EJH.
We have PLTR that's moving out of the gate quite nicely.
How's
CADL.
GCTS doing?
CADL got rejected at 65 EMA, going lower now. See if we can get some support from 650. If that doesn't hold, then the next level I would be looking for is 625.
GCTS also going lower, 950 on that one. ACB being mentioned. Cannabis names, I know they came in midday, but they are trading higher here. Now, I wonder, these cannabis companies, I wonder if they're just, I know we've had some recent news about cannabis being on the ballot and all that, but I wonder how these cannabis companies do in high interest rate environments.
Yes, Jeremy, you did.
Isn't that a good feeling when you're like, oh, I picked the right one today? Awesome.
How are they going to? Well, that's a good question, because if they're going to try to go, if that schedule change happens soon, and the banks are allowed to lend to cannabis companies, yeah, I see your point. Like, are the high interest rates going to, turn a lot of companies away or not? Is kind of what you're wondering, right?
Yeah, or if it's going to impede their growth.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a great point. Hub C, after its turnaround, it's kind of trying to come back up, back up to VWAP. 160. I think it still wants to try to take out again. It's got some size there.
Yeah, so a couple of things here real quick. So Bourne saying they don't bank, Ryan. That's the thing. I think that's really going to be the big shift, is when they can bank legally. Jay's Life here saying cannabis companies do not need to borrow cash because they have high cash flow.
I get it,
but I still think that there's going to be some borrowing and cash raising in there.
Hub C is really starting to move now. And I think somebody said that, yes, Christoph said cattle halted. So I think maybe somebody else did too.
Yeah, and that cattle halt, though, that's a halt down.
Yeah, so, it's not good.
Yeah, this a pullback on there. Careful with that one.
Hub C, though, this is it's pushing, but it's starting to run out of steam. Like, as soon as it gets through 160, hopefully it can continue to go and it gets some more volume.
Wiz calling IGC, which is trading up here. Be careful with this name. This name's been around since as long as I've been around. That was 2014, and it is a scam through and through. Careful with this name. Trading vehicle only.
What does that stand for? I got conned?
Maybe. I mean, they were in Bitcoin. They were in pot. They were in video game. They are in AI. I mean, they're in everything. They just repurpose. They just repurpose PRs and try to get the stock to pop.
Ooh, oh, looks like we're not going to get up to 515.50 quite yet in the SPY.
TSVT coming lower here.
Market Sniper mentioning AXTI. Yeah, it's
curling a little bit here.
Let's see if we can get to.
Sorry,
I was just going to say, let's see if we can get to 385. That'd be my first level. Hub C, this is just, man, it broke through 160 and it's taking out the highs. This is really going here.
Size at 180. They brought in a bid at 175.
Let's see here. Put in some levels for this one. Okay.
Looking around here, Apple at the lows, Tesla at the lows. So Tesla's doing with some of those spots we outlined here. Let's see if we break through. We're right at a support level.
So I do have levels at 180 and 190, and I can see that there's quite a bit of sell orders there. So those are the next two levels I see to break to the upside.
Market looks like it's going lower here. Dow, NAS, and SPY all rolling over a bit.
As they should.
Goldman Sachs at the lows as well.
MDIA open, and what is it doing? It looks like it's trying to see if it wants to go higher, but it's looking like it's pulling back a bit here. See if, well, maybe it is going higher. There it is. All right, there it goes. There. All I do is wait. All right.
Seeing some Tesla puts get bought here.
Smoke Tuna mentioning my cousin.
DVN, big sweep there. Call sweep, 2,101 contracts. DVN.
GUR actually with some movement here. little light on the volume though.
Smoke tuna mentioning my cousin. It took me a sec to get that one, but I got it. I got it. VTSI. See that this is being mentioned, and this is also trading higher here. Virtra. I didn't think we didn't have this one on our list here this morning. VRTI. Is that what it? VTSI. I'm so stupid.
Hub C pulling back a bit here.
That's what we wanted for possible entry if that holds here on Hub C. No new news on that VTSI. Okay, let's go back to Hub C.
MDAI still pushing, but it might be putting in a near-term top. Still has to get through some of this supply that was being put in early in the morning.
Hub C, that pullback did not last very long.
Nope.
Multiple people mentioning VRT. This was the one that we talked about yesterday. Yes, this is definitely a data center thing behind the thing for AI play. Absolutely.
Yeah, trying to get up to VWAP, push through that.
Jay mentioning that SMCI went green to red pretty hard on volume. Good call there, Jay. How's NVIDIA doing? That would be doing very similar things, although it's not going red yet. It's close.
Getting a mention to watch Terra.
Market's trying to bounce here.
Mm-hmm. Terra looks like it has a pretty decent setup. The volume's just not where it needs to be.
Yeah, it's also spread pretty well.
So it's a bit of liquid then too. All right, MDAI, I think we're going to go here. Trying to push through that supply that we put in the pre-market.
That's MDIA?
I'm sorry, you're right, MDIA. Holy crap, I made the mistake.
It's easy to do. God, this thing is absolutely going. $1 away now from its pre-market highs, folks.
I was going to say, guys, Google's at its highs, Amazon at its highs. Seems like Mag 7 is back.
Well, which ones? Yeah, Netflix at the highs, Apple's bouncing, but at the lows, Tesla at lows. We have to come up with other monikers, it seems.
They're back because everybody's afraid to go into anything that's rate dependent, so they'll go into the ones that aren't so rate dependent to be safe.
Well, Mizuho was named a top pick this morning over at Amazon was named a top pick over at Mizuho. They also maintained their price target of 230, and then Netflix got a buy. They got a reiterated of a buy over at Pivotal, but they raised their price target to a street high of $765.
Oh, nice. So that's about what is it, $100 away? What are they at right now?
Netflix is at $629.75.
Getting a mention that cattle. It just opened and bounced off the 200 EMA, trying to come back up to VWAP right now. Looks like MDIA is not ready to take out that pre-market supply.
ARDX at highs here, kind of low volume, but that's off the relative volume scanner. GCTS breaking down. This is coming back in.
Wow, these moves in Palantir are wild.
Palantir looking like it's trying to break out here.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Gur just curled a little bit here. This hasn't gone yet. Let's see what happens if it gets over the intraday high or the pre-market high. That could really send it. Full send.
Yeah, MDIA is really having a battle with itself, and I think it's going to try to push up through that supply that I was mentioning earlier.
I have the intraday high there at 388 as the spot.
See what happens in the next several minutes.
And guys, this time next week, bank earnings start coming out. So we'll be talking about earnings next week. I believe we get Delta on Wednesday, and then the major banks starting Friday, rolling into next week, and then Netflix is 2 weeks from Thursday.
Our news pocket ends.
Yeah, that would be JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, and BlackRock, I believe, is what we get on Friday.
Yep. And then Goldman Monday, then B of A, Morgan Stanley, and then some healthcare names. And then once we get through Monday the 15th, it's like earnings season is in full swing.
Mm-hmm.
And that will set the tone for the market, given are earnings actually going to increase this year or for Q1, or are we going to see some kind of a rocky turbulence ahead?
If we start seeing strong earnings, that's going to push rate cuts out further.
Yep, I agree with that. MDIA coming back into the VWAP here. 326 is what I have on that VWAP. Hub C holding up here, looking like this is trying to go higher.
Yeah,
Kingdom Lamb saying the price action is iffy here. I'll give you that. I haven't been watching this. I've been kind of flipping around. So if you've been watching the price action, good stuff. There's actually a big bid right under the high. Excuse me, a big offer right under the 177 high. So we'll see if that gets hit. Tesla new lows. Market bounce has stopped or stalled here, at least so far.
And we're going to see if MDIA is either going to flag or if it's just going to break down here. It's trading beneath the VWAP, or my VWAP anyway.
The big size that was ahead of the intraday high on Hub C is gone.
I use Swede. I just
that got
looked
bought.
to the left.
Yep.
I just looked to the left and looked for previous price action, highs, lows, consolidation. I set my levels using that. Nothing fancy, just looking to the left. All right, looks like MDAI is trying to recover.
Hub C, here we go. So it moved above that 177. There's refresh seller here at 180 that's getting hit. Those are actual transactions and through. Hub C released the Kraken. Here we go.
190 is next. It's the next big supply that needs to get through. After that, it's 2 and 204.
Mind the yank here if we get one of those. MDIA still down here near the VWAP.
Getting some strength. Yeah, Hub C looks pretty good. Got up to 189, so it got rejected at 190 with all that that selling up there, but that's definitely going to be the area to push through. What else is moving?
This is actually still pushing here too. That size at 190 has grown. They've eaten the last two that they tried to stop it at, though. Here we go again on Hub C, coming back up towards those highs. Volume still looking good here.
Does it push through this time? Looks like it's slowing down a bit, but not done.
Market bounce continuing here. All indexes, SPY, NAS, and Dow, all moving higher. Take care of yourself, Jeremy. Good stuff. Enjoy your weekend, boss.
And we're just not seeing some follow through on some of these. VRT, that was a great call. That one had a nice move.
Today, or just since we started talking about it?
I think since we started talking about it.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying I don't think we saw these last two this last movement through the VWAP and higher.
Yeah, so this is about $2 move here today.
Hub C coming back in. 190 was a little too strong for it, but if it can still hold, I think somebody was saying 175. Yeah, Seahorse Trading. If it settles above 175, I agree with that. Then that would be good for a return trip later on and push through. I also like how MDIA is still kind of holding here, making that that bull flag. As long as we don't break down, that one could try to push higher as well.
My cat is wild and trying to break into the room that the bird is in. Sorry. He's funny sometimes.
Sylvester and Tweety moment now.
Yes, honestly. Apple bouncing here. Amazon making a move back towards those highs.
Hub C coming back up to try 190 again. SPY tried to break over 515.50, got rejected. Still
XXII, 13's cousin curling here. See if this gets back to VWAP.
Yeah, it looks like Hub C is going to probably break it. It's going to attempt to break through 190 again. It looks like in the next 5 minutes or so, if we can hold 175.
Tuna, this looks good on your 3-minute chart here. We just had that MACD histogram go. We're right at that VWAP. 182 looks to be the spot, right? Got 185, I guess, as the VWAP here.
Great job, Carmen, with CXAI. Looks like MDIA is trying to turn around. It's above VWAP again.
The director of National Economic Council from the White House, Lel Branyard, is currently on CNBC saying that that this is a really very encouraging report, suggests that the U.S. economy can continue expanding.
Not surprised to hear her say that.
All right, we're getting some upside in MDIA. Looking good here.
Sure is going for those highs.
Get it, baby.
Sarah, I was watching XXAI here. Let me change over to MDIA. Here we go. Let's see if we get that high break. 388, that spot.
Yep, 388. That's the intraday high. Absolutely.
Vanilla Ice has a YouTube channel that was discussing investments. Did he say stop? Let's collaborate and listen, because that's what I would have been waiting for the entire time.
If he doesn't start his stream out every day like that, then it's not worth watching.
Big pull on MDIA back down to the VWAP here. Rejected right at that double top, coming back into the VWAP.
Volatility, folks. We're seeing it. Yeah, Hub C still trying to make its way up through 190.
D's calling Reddit. What's Reddit doing here today? Okay, Reddit bouncing a little bit.
Looks like VRT is still probably, I mean, I say probably because I'm not sure. It's looking like it could head higher. I just don't know for sure.
Sorry, 13. Scotty, great question. Scotty's asking, in Benzinga Pro, where do you find the halt news? Scotty, I use the signals tool to do that. The signals tool has several different signals here. You can see I've actually have multiple instances of that, and I separate the halt resume signals. So you can see FAS, GCTS, cattle, FAS, MDIA, they're all in here. So I would use the signals tool, and I would use the halt and resume function. Good question.
Yeah, it looks like my cousin's really starting to wake up here.
Let's go, dude.
It's interesting because my wife's cousins are coming out to watch try to watch the eclipse.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Final Four for the women's tournament, but yes, the eclipse. That's Monday, isn't it?
Yes, and I'll be joining you on Monday.
Oh, awesome. Okay. When is? Would you know what time is it's supposed to be? Or,
I don't.
Yeah,
depends on your area, I believe.
Yeah. You're right.
Guys, I was going to say Wells Fargo is out with a note just moments ago, just hitting the inbox, saying that they're going to update their Fed outlook after next Wednesday's CPI report. But based on what they know, the strength of the labor market suggests the FOMC can continue to await further improvement on the inflation front before easing policy. And that's what we're getting from a number of different economists and from different research firms. Going to be waiting for Goldman Sachs here. That note should be dropping within the 10 o'clock hour, because I guarantee you there are going to be something with the Q1 GDP. I guarantee you after this jobs report, they may update their Q1 GDP. And we'll wait further confirmation when that note drops, I believe within the 10 or 11 a.m. hour.
Okay. CXAI. Oh my God. So any of you got here? I think I owe like a number of registerings. Looks like Sally's on it, Carmen's on it, JK's on it. We got half the group here. Miles is on it. Good stuff here on CXAI. Big pop there. I was looking at other stocks. I wasn't even looking at that. MDIA, by the way, looks like this is trying to curl back up here. MDIA.
VRT going higher.
There it is.
Sorry about being all wishy-washy. I knew I wasn't sure if it was going to do this or not, and it's doing this.
Nice job, Will.
Looks like MDIA is trying to recover.
Sure is.
Hub C still trying to work on 190. Zim with a megaphone pattern. It's interesting. So that should resolve higher.
EJH, Jonathan, I was kind of watching that earlier there. It looks like it just went through that 296 reseller that we had here earlier. So EJH looking good here. This actually on the daily here looks like a pretty good breakout as well. 233 breakout. We're up here at what, 314? Looking pretty good. I think we might fill this candle up here, 368, the top of that, EJH. Jay, you were mentioning this earlier. This is ticker GRIN. You were asking 13 about this. I think we kind of missed this earlier.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all good. We did actually here. Let me get this on here. GRIN, Grind Rod, excuse me. Shipping holding shares trading higher after the company announced a selective capital reduction.
I don't know where they operate, but seeing right off the bat that they operate a fleet of dry bulk carriers and a tanker, that leads me to believe that this is more on the Panama Canal side of things, because there's a lot of dry bulk cargo that goes through that canal, and they're having huge drought issues, which is water is needed in order to raise and lower the canal to let ships through. So I could see how this would be very, very affected by that, and increase and be affected by rate increases. Dividend of 13%. Now, is this one like Zim where its dividend is based upon the its sales? You can tell me, that'd be awesome. I'd appreciate it. Smoke Tune also mentioning COCH. This has been an old girlfriend for the entire year. Yeah, and that is moving higher here. Speaking of moving higher, holy crap, VRT. This is it's continuing to go. TSVT, by the way, off that $5 bottom. Nice move here. VRT. That's a $3 move so far. Boy, that would have been a good one. That's the one I think I missed here today. MDIA. Oh my God, look at ARDX. Yeah. Look at all these. Everything's. It went from 6 to midnight. Look at this thing. All right, MDIA looks like it's trying to break that intraday high. And Smoke Tuna is mentioning my cousin again. My family's great, isn't it? Terra might be trying to turn around. We'll have to wait and see what comes out of that. Yeah, XXII. What a nice move that was. And I don't think it's finished. MDIA, new intraday highs, barely. 390. Sorry, I'll be right with you guys. Okay. 394. Are we going to get $4? Yes, we are. Almost there. Almost there. Oh, red leader. Good old red leader. There we go. Wow, that's quite a right through jump. So look at the pull now. Oh yeah. Gosh. So in the past, those upside breaks on those spots that we literally just watched happen live, they have been great range break trades. But over like the past year, that's what's been happening. They break that range, they immediately pull them back. That's been slapping me around. That's why I've kind of moved on from some of these littler stocks until that environment returns here. Yeah. Oh, by the way, FAAS is open again, but it's not really moving. Yeah, that sometimes I just sell, right as I either have a limit order out or I sell right as the pop happens. Yeah, I'm that big into selling into strength, even if it's only 10 cents. That's why sometimes, you scalp one of these things, 10, 20, 30 cents, it goes $2 and you're like, what were you doing? Well, I was executing the plan that I had. That's what I was doing. Okay. MDIA making another move for 4 here. It certainly is. Man, this thing. We're finding everything today, guys. You guys in chat are doing awesome. We're finding these out really here. We're all having a good time. Palantir, this is a good chart formation, Lauren. This is a nice little pop to right above VWAP, and indeed, it is actually riding above that. Volume actually looks pretty decent here on Palantir. Thinking about it, stay on target. Yeah. I'm telling you, look, it's cultural phenomenon, that movie. Mm-hmm. Market into a pivot point here, so possible resistance on the NASDAQ. See if that stops here. Amazon's still at the highs.
But TSVT kept moving as it moved through its VWAP. It's got a little bit more juice than MDAI did, or at least so far.
The SPY finally broke through 515.50. Looks like it's trying to head higher. Let's see what happens if it gets rejected at 517. If it can break through that, the next level I have is up at it's that 518.30 level.
MDIA resistance at 420 right there. Speaking of 420, Jay saying pot stocks, they're all rolling over. Still short them. Hopefully that short doesn't go up in smoke and you're able to book some of those gains.
Oh, the puns today.
Above 420 now here in MDIA's. Things got all types of strength right now.
Keep an eye on COCH. This one's got a nice formation here. It doesn't have great volume, but the formation, the pattern, it looks pretty good. So
MDAI still going here. Wow. What a move on MDAI.
Next level I have is 475.
There's 450. There's 460. 475 coming, 13.
Ta-da! Yeah, it's going to go
right to that pre-market high, dude. That is not a coincidence, folks. That's why we look at those levels all the time.
It would be fantastic if we could start a pullback here and maybe come back down to 420 and just kind of find support there before moving up next. I think we should be getting a rejection here. That's really, really soon.
Yeah, you should be getting a pull here. Sally's saying, Ryan, when you are short a stock, are you buying puts or borrowing shares? This is a really good question. Most of the time, I buy puts. I don't actually like shorting. By the way, MDIA hugging a halt right here if it holds 483. I don't like shorting. I would rather buy puts, but in some cases, like on some of these range trades on the bigger name, we did a Lululemon short the other day, Dollar General short the other day. I will short them. I will tell you, I will say I'm either short shares or I bought puts. But normally speaking, I try to go the put route.
Guys, watch Meta. We are getting some news from Axios that Meta will begin labeling a wider range of video, audio, and image content as made with AI starting in May. They're saying that Meta's new policy is a response to feedback from its independent oversight board, which urged an update to the current policy. According to a blog post, they said that they will keep the content on platforms so they can label and add context. And according to Monica Bickert, the vice president of the content policy, she says that that she's basically arguing that additional transparency is better than censoring content.
Yes, anything is better than censorship. Agreed. Real quick here, Jay's Life, you can't buy puts with Trade the Pool. Correct. No options in Trade the Pool. I also have my main TD Ameritrade account, which I do everything in.
I noticed this news yesterday. I'm not looking at anything right now. I just remembered it. But I saw that 99-cent stores, all of them, are closing because of the wage hikes and inflation.
Okay.
So that all the stores, all of them. Like I think there's like 137 across 4 states. That's going to hurt people's pockets.
Yes, it is. It kind of goes back to our discussion about, I know you were talking about wage hikes and all that. Inflation definitely a part of that. That's why it's so important.
Palantir going here.
Market bounce did stop at that pivot point. We'll see how long or what the next direction is. EJH looking like this is going to try and go higher here. 315 has a little bit of size, 320 a little bit more. BRB 1 sec.
Sure. Pull back on my cousin pulling back. Kind of. It's nice to see that it's still holding this area above VWAP. Needs to. I don't know. I'd say it probably, if it can push through this pre-market supply, it's probably going to end up having a hard time once it gets into 230s. Looks like VRT's setting up to go higher and it's starting to move. Huge flush on Hub C. Let's take a look here. A bit of some selling here. Definitely off that 189 high that we put in. This is the area where we would need to kind of turn around here between here and about 155, 150 to 158. Needs to find support right in this area here. Otherwise, yeah, I think this is going to probably chew through that demand zone and go lower. If it goes through those prices I just mentioned, I'd say that 145 would be the next support level. Cattle's breaking pre-market low. Oh, so it's headed south.
Okay, sorry
it's
about
actually
that.
recovering.
Which ticker?
Cattle.
CADL.
Yeah, looks like it's recovering here.
Candel, let's go.
Got to get through all that supply that it put in previously this morning.
It's got to get through that VWAP too.
It's working on it right now. Yeah. Let's see if we can get up to 715. That'd be the next upside target I have. Looks like my cousin's about ready to move higher after consolidating the past 5 minutes. BRT almost at 85.
Amazon new highs today.
Looks like Meta is starting to move a little bit higher on that news Nick had mentioned.
Voodoo, you did sharp eyes there. You did see donut on my screen. I'm not necessarily looking for entry here. I was merely making a joke that when McDonald's does the Big Mac with the Krispy Kreme as the bun, it's going to induce heart attacks. That's all I brought donut up for earlier. I'm not actually looking for entry here. Although looking at this, now that we've kind of broken the bottom of this impulse move, I want to see where this kind of stalls. I know we're trying to bounce here. We've kind of reclaimed this. Maybe we can move higher here. I have no line on donut though. You're welcome, Voodoo. No problem. Let me know if you have a spot on it though. MDIA is open, high of 524. It's pulling now.
Yeah, let's see if we can get that support from 420. That'd be good for more upside if we can hold there. Just looking at UNH, kind of getting a bounce off this downside that we've been having lately. So that's a little interesting. I really don't know that we're going to head back up and fill that gap today or anytime soon. I really don't know. To me, it just looks like this thing is just kind of going sideways, but it'll end up heading lower. I don't think health insurance is going to end up doing well if we continue to get these inflationary pressures. People are going to have to be forced to cut spending somewhere. And I think that health insurance is one of those areas that gets cut first.
Voodoo here saying 1441 potential entry on donut. So looking like if we sell off here, that would be your play. Look for a bounce at that 1440 level. Okay, I'll keep that on. I'll keep DNUT on one of the other screens here.
Wisdom. It's also a magnet, or sorry, not a magnet. It's also a catalyst for entertainment. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good. Everything's moving lower here now.
MDIA is still kind of holding that area there, so that's good. Hub C might be trying to recover. XXII, that's getting a bit of a pull after getting up to 221.
Cattle halted to the upside here. Here we go, guys. Second halt of the day for cattle.
Oh, yeah. What a nice recovery.
So we have cattle, MDIA, and FOSS all halted at the moment.
Is FOSS halted? I don't see that it's halted.
I do.
Oh.
Halted at 701 here. I don't see any prints. I don't see any time in sales. I don't see a resumption. I do. Yeah, I do. Trading halt resumed. I beg your pardon. Resumed here on FOSS. Resumed on MDIA. Boy,
it's just so low volume.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No worries. Everybody wasn't fast enough to get into this, I guess. Just don't care.
Yeah, it's not markets night. So real quick, I literally read the thing wrong. It said trading halt resumed. So that's my fault. Sorry about that. I'll try and get better.
You're fine. You were reading what you saw on your screen.
Yeah, but
It's it's your screen's mistake.
I
won't have it any other way.
Awesome, dude. You're awesome.
MDIA, we're still holding up there. I mean, I think that we're probably gonna
Actually trying to bounce here.
Yeah, if we can continue to, maybe I need to be quiet and just let this thing do its work. Need a little bit more volume than this, though.
Yeah, volatile.
Hub C. This one is coming back up to try 190 again.
The eclipse caused it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. God, I'm gonna have the biggest get out of jail free ticket on Monday. No,
the alignment of celestial bodies is really wreaking havoc with the market today.
Sorry, I can't control that. That's funny. That is funny. That is funny. Hub scene. This is a nice bounce off this VWAP here.
Yeah, I really am looking forward to this one coming up and taking out 190. It's looking like it's on its way, but the volume really does need to expand a bit more. What's
the eclipse caused it? I mean, that might be the comment of the day. Honestly, like that is so damn funny.
That's going on a shirt. Why are you down today? Oh, the eclipse caused it.
The eclipse caused it. Hub C still going here.
Give us 190, baby.
TSVT looking like this might be curling.
How much time do we have left on CADL?
That was halted at 10:08 Eastern.
Oh, okay.
So it's 10:11. So we got what, two more minutes?
Something like that.
If it's a 5-minute halt, 1 more minute now.
Are you going to do it, Hub C? Are you going to get back up to 190? Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what CADL does. We're going to get 825 right out of the gate. Let me look at the hey, Jonathan Cooper, if you've got something to link that we could to see how that whole trade idea worked out or that plan worked out, I'd be interested to read that because if there's a correlation between the alignment of celestial bodies, I have to know how that works.
Lion Atlas shorting MU.
Well, it's had one hell of a run. That makes sense. That's a pretty good idea. PLTR almost it hit $23 and it's kind of coming back in, but nice upside move. Let me see where we got with the daily chart on Palantir. Okay, so we're still okay. This is actually pretty good. If it gets rejected around this level and goes down further, that would actually be a pretty nice resolution of the head and shoulders pattern that we have on daily.
NEM, that's Newmont Mining, isn't it? It's had a pretty decent run. Also, MDIA coming back in now here below 450 on MDIA.
Wisdom and I know which level it needs to hold. CADL is open.
Watch technology, so tech-related names. Senate Majority Leader Schumer says Senate is planning to work on a path forward on TikTok legislation. That's according to a letter that Reuters is citing. So watch names that could be affected by the TikTok ban.
Snap would be one of those, wouldn't it?
That would fall under that same umbrella of legislation they're talking about.
Yeah, because I mean, wouldn't they be a potential winner from a TikTok ban?
I think that all the social media sites would be a winner. Yeah.
MDIA really starting to pull here now. VWAP 368. It's trying to defend 4. MDIA. There is some size here at 4, but it's not much. It's probably going to get snapped.
CADL trying to get above its 65 EMA on the 5-minute still. Really wants to get through this consolidation of price action in the pre-market and after hours.
Hey, Easy Mike, what's going on, dude? Hopefully
Hey,
you are
Mike.
doing well. Great to see you. Good to see all of you folks out here. Smash up the like for it being Friday and for life being awesome. How about that?
I'll smash it just for life being awesome.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear.
MDIA still with that pull. I guess the next area of support we can watch is the VWAP. See if we get a reversal there. It'd be about $4, but it already broke through 420, so meh. We'll see. All right. Looks like CADL is flagging for the moment. Next 5 or 10 minutes should tell us if it can go higher.
Spotify. We talked about this earlier this week. Jay Rice was all over this. Spotify higher again here today. This has been a good move here on Spotify. Volume just in line here. But this didn't really trade with the market. This just went up. This just said, I don't care that the market was selling off earlier. We're going higher.
Hey, subs are rising. I'm sorry, not subs. Subscription prices are rising. Who cares what the market's doing? They're going to get more money.
Gerald, how's it going? How's it going? MDIA trying to bounce off of that $4 level.
Yeah, it is certainly trying to recapture 420.
GCTS trying to hold this $8 level, consolidating here. If this doesn't break down, potential bounce back to the VWAP would be a decent trade. I'd be on that if that starts to materialize here. That's nothing. Size 9 worth mentioning. This thing's spread though.
Easy, Mike. Are you asking about the tankers, the shipping tankers? Is this on increased oil prices and just overall shipping volatility? Like, what is that what you're asking? CADL really is trying to push through this supply.
TGS moving higher here. Transport to gas. CADL trying to move higher off this VWAP here. 730's got some size there.
Certainly does.
Just took it.
There we go. Military stocks popped. I noticed that military stocks were up yesterday as people were rolling into defensive and utilities for safe plays. I saw some movement there on the after the market started selling off.
I do like that candle's holding above its VWAP here. I've got that VWAP at 705, by the way.
Yeah.
Here it comes back in a little bit. Might try some here. See if I can get filled. Oh, they flashed some size there, then it got eaten. I'm trying not to do this with markets. I'm trying to be patient. Let's see if I get filled at that 705.
Yeah, DIA is coming down to VWAP.
Filled at 705. Okay, here we go. Let's see if that's just going to move lower here. Let's see if we really start to break down, or do we get a bounce right here? CADL, come on. A little bit of size on the bid there, 690.
What's it going to do?
What is it going to do? TSVT Market Sniper looking at TSVT. Let's look at that here real quick. Oh, big pullback there. TSVT, this is trying to go higher here. Darn it. Did I take the wrong one again? We'll see. CADL. This is rolling over here. Come on.
It looks like I might be getting some VWAP support temporarily.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to play a bounce off the VWAP there. We'll see. Went small with this one, so not a huge deal. 730 on the upside here. Definitely going to be a spot on CADL if we can hold in here.
Looks like Hub C is getting some attention, but I'm not sure about Hub C right now. It's looking like it might go lower, but don't quote me on that.
So far it was trying to bounce off this VWAP here. A lot of size, a lot of offers above it. We'll see if it can take any of those. MXL, didn't someone mention this the other day? MXL?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I could have sworn someone mentioned this. I don't remember who it was. This actually broke above that 200-day. This looks pretty good here, MXL. The good daily chart.
Carmen mentioning, or I'm sorry, not Carmen, Becca mentioning SOUN.
SOUN.
Yeah, a nice recovery off of the 510, 515 level. Got to go back and look at the SPY. I really feel like this is going to come back in.
SPY still at that pivot. NASDAQ trading around that pivot there. MDIA getting mentioned here. MDIA trying to curl here.
Yep.
CADL, is that still flirting with 7 here? Sure is. Trying to bounce and go. We'll see here on CADL. Bitcoin up here, 68,200. That's actually holding up here as well. On Bitcoin.
I need to take a look at Bitcoin on a daily time frame because it was consolidating ever since it made new all-time highs. I'm wondering if we're seeing a breakout soon here with that consolidation, but I got something I'm working on right now, so I'll look at it in a second.
Got you. EJH. That's another one that we've been looking at. That's actually holding here above the VWAP. Good stuff there. How about XXII? That right at the VWAP here.
GRRR. Low volume, but it's trying to move back up and try to recapture. Looks like 92. Just not sure, but it looks like it had a decent looking chart.
Yeah, I think you meant MXL, not NXL, but that is curling here. That was Easy Mike that mentioned that, and is that what I'm confused? MDIA, nice bounce here. Nice bounce here on MDIA. Didn't quite get to that VWAP, but this looks like this is trying to go higher here. Cattle still flirting with the 7, trading right around it. So far, so good. Let's see if this can go bang. That would be cool. MDIA continuing to push up here, 455.
I think CADL would need a pretty big order to get through the levels of resistance that it's facing right now.
Yeah, 720 looks to be one of those bigger levels. Pulling back here now, CADL. Still going to watch this one, though.
I like how we're just calling XXII my cousin now.
Well, I mean, we got to call it something.
Yeah.
We got to call it something. So
no, that's fine. That's funny.
ZPTA, this is a little bit of a volume pop there right off the scanner. Checking on Donut. That's not coming into that 14 level that we were looking for there. HUBC, this staying above that VWAP. That looks decent.
Lauren Octree mentioning PayX.
AX, is that rolling?
Looking to see if it gets back over 122.
GCTS curling a little bit here. No, it's all good. GCTS curling a little bit here. Remember, if that goes back to the VWAP, could actually be a pretty decent trade in there. GCTS.
The thing about PAYX that I'm not liking at the moment is that the MACD is showing that it could be rolling over. We'll look for that crossing. It would have to hold VWAP and start moving pretty soon here to back up to the upside to avoid that crossing on the MACD. Yeah, Hub C just kind of sideways. MDIA.
Seeing some reports from other traders that are stateside here feeling an earthquake on the eastern seaboard. Anyone out east? Earthquake, New York City, seeing it on Twitter now as well. Multiple people confirming they felt it. Anyone on our East Coast feel an earthquake?
Someone else just shared that. Jason, yes, okay. So Carl Quintanilla live on CNBC, he didn't tweet it. He just tweeted this out. He said, that was my first earthquake. Everyone at the NYSE just gave each other a big look.
Yep. Y'all felt that earthquake here in NYC? Oh, here they come. Just felt it in Connecticut, says Chopper. Glenn feels it on Long Island, now in DC. Okay, well, that's going to be something to watch here today.
Oh, don't worry, James Hoflinger. If that's what the plot is, I have plans.
Yeah, he's from Texas, dude. That alien's going to have to deal with some hot lead. I mean, let's just face it. Ain't nobody murking 13's family, I'll tell you that.
No, there's a reason why you don't see as much retail theft around here.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
It's really interesting that we're getting a series of earthquakes lately. My wife was telling me about something that there's a bit of a correlation between earthquakes and the eclipse. I thought it was silly, but the things that I was looking at were kind of interesting, like how the path of totality passes right over a spot of an area of tectonic plates where four of them meet. In the middle of Mexico. It's like the Pacific plate, the North American plate, the Caribbean plate, and then I can't remember what the other one was, but all four of those kind of converge right there. And anyway, this some fun thing that she was showing me that I don't believe, but it was interesting nonetheless.
It looks like it was 20 miles west of North Plainfield, New Jersey, 1 minute ago. Magnitude not available yet.
Some people are reporting that they felt it in Pennsylvania too. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, the USGS doesn't have that yet. That's here. I'll post that so you guys can take a look at it. But
interesting.
This is the
trimmed a few more of the CGC puts. Great job, Jay. You've been on that cannabis short for a good amount here.
Ryan, Brad Olson, our content officer here at Benzinga, he said that he felt it, and I believe he's in New York City as well, somewhere in New York.
Yeah, somewhere on the east. Okay, CADL, if this really starts to break down any more here, we're pretty much going to lose this VWAP. This trade, I will be out.
Oh yeah, Brett, with up in that region, that's a really bad region for fall activity, because you have one line going right through San Francisco, and that same line extends all the way down and passes near Los Angeles by about 50 miles or so. Really, really terrible. That's the fault line that makes everybody believe that California is falling into the ocean, but not happening. Look at my cousin go. It's coming back up.
Oh, look at CADL. Look at that little pull. A little pull, and now they're trying to run it.
Go CADL. Go.
See if they pull it back here.
That's 715 level. This is here we go. This is where they needed to have that large volume come in. Now they're looking like it's getting it now.
Here we go. Here we go.
Man, 2 days in a row, CADL has been a good trading.
Yeah,
vehicle.
this is what I was waiting for on this trade. Is this move to the high end? Here we go, 629. Let's see if we can snap that. No, they just yanked it. Things vol. I want to. If I can pop above this 730, I can try selling into the strength.
Brett, I don't. That's I believe that completely. I believe that. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
And CAGL, this is pushing. There we go.
There we go. This is what I was waiting for. There we go. There we go. There we go.
And it's
going to be halted here. I'm going to sell into this. All right. There's the
great job, dude. And Brett,
that's what we were waiting for. And we were just trying. And you know what? There's someone else. We were kind of talking recently about how I haven't been patient enough on the downside. I'll tell you what, you were right about that. Whoever was on that train, because we're a little bit more patient there, bang, able to book that winner. This might go higher out of the halt. I'm just trying to get that green on the screen. I hate halts.
825 is the upside target I have out of the halt. Brett, I've had no shortage of experiences with earthquakes. Lived in California for 36 years. I felt a lot of them. There were times that I woke up and I just felt the whole house shaking. So I just said, okay, and walked over to the doorway. That was I don't know if that's the preferred method of safety right now. I think they're talking about like going into the side of a room that has a wall, so they create that triangle protection or whatever.
The door frame's the easiest.
Yeah, the door frame's
And in the door frame, embrace yourself. Thank you, Sally. We'll get a register ring for both of us.
Great job, Seahorse.
You got stopped out of there. There we go. Great job, Seahorse. Yep, right before the halts. That's what I did too. Great job.
See if VRT can get 85. It went down to VWAP and it came back up. Let's see what happens here.
See on VRT. EJH, this is still doing a really good job holding above its VWAP here. This looks like it wants higher, honestly.
Yeah, Brett, do you remember the bridge collapse in the San Francisco area? I think it was in 1991 when that happened. My uncle was on that bridge when that happened, but he's fine. He survived, but he got some injuries. But oh yeah, lots of experience with earthquakes.
Yeah, my extended family all lives in California. They have a majority of my life. I've been there 30 times or so conservatively over the course of my life. Familiar with earthquakes myself. The one that I was present for was not really bad. Nothing really noticeable happened. You could just kind of feel it shaking, the ground shaking, but no one was hurt. At least nobody that I know anyway.
VRT still creeping higher. Kingdom
X Sniper saying HUBC is about to dump. Actually, that's just giving up its VWAP here. This absolutely could roll over. This is a decent call here.
Let's see if 155, 158 can support it. If it does drop like that. I think I also said 150, maybe 150. It seems like a better level. Anyway, in that area, 150s. They'll be looking for support. MDIA.
Spencer Israel, formerly of Benzinga fame, saying his entire house shook on that. Used a little bit more colorful language than I did, but
Spencer?
Yes, sir.
How's he doing?
I just asked him. I'll let you know what he says.
All right.
I should offer for him to hop back on here. Just
sure. I'm
gonna do that. Let's see what he says. I'm gonna do that when he responds here. I'll let you know.
Brett, that's crazy. That's a whole book in itself that you could write with that about how that experience. Oh man, I would not want to be there. Sorry.
We do have some updates regarding the earthquake. According to this picture from EMSC, it seems that this earthquake has a wide variety and it could be felt in parts of central Pennsylvania. So Altoona, St. Mary's, Avonmore, as far down as Richmond. So this is a wide Albany, Springfield, New York cities, but the central location, it seems like, was part in New York City, parts of Philadelphia, Scranton, and Lancaster. I'll see if I can send that image and we can throw it up on screen.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You can look at the USGS website. It shows you it's updated now to show that earthquake. It says it's 43 kilometers north by northeast of Sour Pathar. That's India. That's not the one I'm talking about. Okay, so this one, Lebanon, New Jersey, 4.8. That's the one. Sorry, there's two pretty close together, or relatively close together. But yeah, that's 4.8, 5 kilometers northeast of Lebanon, New Jersey.
It's a great tweet here. I'm going to read to you. Earthquake Twitter is more dramatic than cell program Twitter. Okay. They find that pretty funny. Let's go ahead and add this here. This was in downloads. This is the image that Nick was referring to.
MDIA.
There you go.
Still above 420 at this point. Cattle is open, and it's headed towards 8. Oh, now we just got a huge knife.
Okay.
That's why you sell.
The halts are unpredictable. There might be another opportunity to reload cattle for a trade here. This has been wild for the past couple of days. So there might absolutely be another opportunity here. But that is exactly right. That's why I sell out of halts. They are unpredictable. The moves out of halts are unpredictable. The move that I was looking here for was a push away from the VWAP. That's exactly what we got.
Hey, Brett, would you get out of bed for a 4.8? I don't know if I would.
Okay, guys, let's relax.
We should probably move on from the earthquake. It's kind of old news now. I don't think anything's going to come out of it.
Yeah, so that was so Spencer's good. That was his first one. We don't get earthquakes in New Jersey. It lasted 3 seconds, but it scared the bleep out of me.
VRT. I still think 85 is the number to beat here, but it's just the volume just is kind of like fading away on this one. MDIA kind of pushing now.
Good old Spencer. Good old Spencer. Okay. Did well on CADL there. MDIA, we'll see if it can actually pop out of this formation. Size here at 460. That just got deleted. A little bit more at 465. We'll see if that moves.
Chew it up. Yeah. Eat it.
It's going higher here now. MDIA.
Oh, man, that's an awesome move. So coming up to that 475 level, it traded above it, but couldn't close. That's the next level that needs to close above. And then after that, 565 is the next big resistance level I have.
Here comes a pull.
COCH. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, how's XXI going? I saw it readjust on my scanner, but it doesn't look like anything's crazy right there. EJH still above. What was the ticker you were looking at there, 13?
COCH. It's got a green candle that I just put in, but it's the volume just is crap.
Earthquake dip got bought. Oh, crassy. DJT here selling off.
No surprise there.
Nope. ESVT. That came back into VWAP, actually cracked it a little bit.
Who was that was mentioning CZU yesterday? Because that
I think it was Crow, wasn't it?
I think so. That one had a nice run yesterday later on in the day.
Nice little staircase here today. Spread like crazy, though.
Yeah, that was nice. CADL still held up by VWAP, but man, that's an ugly candle it put in.
Yeah, that was rough being in here. This 7 line, it's been volatile around this line. Glad we didn't get shaken out of it, though. Oh, I'd love to get Spencer back on. That'd be great.
Yeah, he was the first person I started talking to at Benzinga.
Hey, pretty awesome.
MDIA looking to take out 480. Trying to anyway. That size just came in there and said nope. It's been a pretty good morning. How about you guys?
It has. Only 1 for 1, not a whole lot, but we were tactical about the one that we took. So I'll take that for a process anytime.
Richard Hoey I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. Asking about Zim. We did get there was a talk between the Biden administration and Netanyahu to try to get a Gaza ceasefire. So that could be impacting this kind of. As long as that conflict keeps happening, this is still bound to move around. But with that ceasefire happening, the Houthi rebels in Yemen are also stopping. I think they're stopping the attacks on shipping lanes. So that's how that could affect this stock. Look at MDIA. It's going to try for 5 now. Big lots in BIG. Take a look at BIG. I think this is also a So with BIG, what might be happening, and if there's no news, is that it's probably just short squeezing again, high short interest.
Here, let me go to that here real quick. So here is ticker BIG. The short interest that you're talking about, the last print we have 4308 days to cover 3.87. I'm annoyed I don't have my history here. That seems to be an intermittent issue on my end only, but I think that this days to cover went down.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it hasn't been over 5 since January.
Okay, I'll go back to the pool here.
Do I think Hub C has potential to curl?
Newbie, is there anywhere to see on stream the day's profit? So I'm the only one sharing here. 13 is not sharing his screen. On the trade the pool here, though, if I do go to filled orders, you can see here is just my one trade for today with 180 in profit. So it doesn't stay open. But I can flip to it there. I keep the active positions open. The only one we're in is the very small Zim swing to force me to look at it. Good question, though.
Kingdom Lamb, if it's going to find support, it's going to be pretty soon at, in my opinion, the 65 EMA, which I have at 150. So if we break down from 150, then my next support would be closer to 125.
And I'd have 145 as a potential bounce spot. This was the pre-market consolidation area that we had. CADL continuing to move higher here. Holding that VWAP this time.
Let's see.
GCTS, maybe we finally get that curl 881 here. I guess looks like a little bit of size. See if we can move back up to 970 here, 969.
Peloton, we're bringing up.
Oh my God, Peloton is back. You got to be kidding me.
I know. I'm going to see.
I mean, it bounced off a bottom here. I guess that's about it, though.
I'm just curious to see if it's running on any news. The only thing I have on here is just stop buying. So naturally, people are buying.
That's what you have on your notes for Peloton? Just stop buying?
That's what's on the news feed. Look at the news feed. Only thing for today, Friday, April 5th, Peloton. Just stop buying. The market said no.
Okay, so real quick for those of you that don't have Pro, 13, that's actually what's on here. This is actually worth a screenshot, to be honest with you. That's rather entertaining. Oh, Peloton. Okay.
We're getting a mention about CXAI setting up as well as LICY.
Yeah, I saw that move earlier. It wasn't on that, unfortunately, the first time it happened.
Okay,
LIC up to the its intraday high.
Yeah, I see how
is that finally put. Oh my God, it did break out of that. Look at that, Jonathan. All we had to do was be patient on this one.
CXAI, it did recapture the VWAP that I have, and volume expansion. We're probably going back up to 540.
GE has been insane after that. Well, this was from the spinoff, right? That gap down was from the spinoff, and now it looks like it's trying to close that gap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of debt those companies took with it, but if it helped the GE balance sheet, that's a good sign. Hub C down at 150. This is kind of the area where it needs to hold. You said you had 145, Ryan?
I was just looking at the bottom of the here. Hub C right here, the right where we kind of bottomed out right after the opening print. We pulled and reversed. I've got that consolidation area here at the minus the wick is 145, including the wick is 141.
Okay.
So I'd look for a potential bounce there, but I'm not. That doesn't invalidate your spot at all. MDIA looking like that's trying to curl a little bit here.
Piton is dead to me as Disney and Bud.
Yikes.
Well, yeah, I agree with Piton. I don't think Disney's dead yet, but it's certainly shopping for caskets.
Bitcoin at the highs. Cool.
Let's just take a look and see what Disney's doing these days after that shareholder move. Okay. So Disney went down to the 20-day SMA, and we're bouncing off it today. I would think that this is probably going to be a short-term bounce if we're headed lower. Probably see a few more or a couple more days after this of upside trading, but eventually we go lower. That's just what could happen. Not saying it will, but if we're bearish, that's kind of what one scenario I'd be looking at is to put in a bear flag on the way down to the 50-day SMA.
Looking around here. Jay here mentioning Reddit. So far, any dips to the 45, 44, or excuse me, 44 to 45 area are getting bought here on Reddit. That's ticker RDDT.
Looks like cattle wants to get back above the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, holding 715. It's trying still, but hasn't happened yet. Dan mentioning HYMC. We were talking about this one.
GCTS, that curl is happening. That curl is happening. 967 going to be that VWAP. This is going to get tested here.
I like the pattern on the daily pattern on HYMC. Don't know anything about this really. Was this a Bitcoin miner?
Highcroft Mining. This
oh
was
no, this
Carmen
is the Meta
special. If I'm recalling correctly,
this is
Carmen
a real miner. This is a real miner of metals and stuff.
A real miner, a physical miner. Let's call him that, a physical miner.
There you go. Hey, yeah, you were mentioning the cousin trying to stay above 2. It's certainly looking like it's trying to. Looks good. Hub C might have. I mean that area we were talking about. You know, your 145, 150 for me. That's kind of holding up right now. See if we can turn around.
Yeah, Lynn, the difficulty of your Peloton ride goes up on an exponential curve the higher the earthquake is, so you can actually burn more calories. I'm sorry, shouldn't be making a joke about that. Yeah, Carmen confirms HYMC was the one that they had since it launched on the market. There you go. I was going to say, I knew someone from our chat has been all over this for a while.
Things are slowing down, but the market's still grinding a bit higher. We're up to 516.63 on the SPY.
GCTS, that is definitely going to that VWAP. Let's see what happens there. MDAI still doing a decent job holding above here. You love to see it. All right. Amazon's still at the highs here too.
Yeah, this thing
Very
is,
back to its VWAP.
Thanks, Danielle. There's a test of 517 coming in the SPY. There it is.
Yeah, that's SPY bounce. It hasn't been like a straight up vertical bounce, but it did put in those lows at 514. That so far is holding here. How's our SPY volume doing here today? That's something I haven't really checked.
That's a good point. 18 million at this point.
That's
not bad.
Better, isn't it?
That's not
I
bad at
feel
all.
like we've been at like 10 or maybe even a little less at this point on some of these other. Yeah, I think, that's not bad.
Not bad. VRT still looking like it's going to try for 85. Hub C is looking like that level we talked about is working for a reversal. Just need to get some more volume to move back up through some of these EMAs that are bearing down on it and get to VWAP.
MDIA popping here.
MDIA, oh yeah.
Jonathan's asking me, are you a planet believer? I don't know what planet is. I definitely believe in planets. Yes, one of my hobbies is physics and astronomy on the side. So yes, definitely. I would never set foot in a Planet Fitness if that's what you're asking. Not really sure what you're getting at here. So if you could clarify, I'd be happy to answer your question. MDAI popping to the highs here again. 524, that intraday high. Struggling here with the 480 level.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I called the Mars crossing at 1047. I don't remember that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to let you down here today. Was that a ticker? No. Sorry to let you down, Jonathan. Oh, I see. You're saying that. Oh, now I've put the whole thing together. You're saying that the planets caused the market to trade up here, and you're asking me if I believe that nonsense. Oh.
Look, I'll say this. If you can, make successful trades off that and make money, who am I to
more power to you if you can do that. More power to you.
If it's working for you, then by all means keep doing it. No, seriously, I'm serious. If something's working for you and it's not taking your money and it's been consistent, I don't see a reason why to try to stop doing it, no matter how ridiculous it is. It's making them money. Until it stops making them money, I don't think there's a reason to not do that anymore. Look at CATL pulling here. I mean, we don't all have to use that information or trade that same way, and I don't think it might work for everybody. I don't think it would work for me. If it works for him,
absolutely. I agree with that. It definitely would not work for me. Bitcoin at the highs here. Let's go. And stick around, folks, because in just under 10 minutes, we're going to be bringing back our options expert, Anne-Marie, to cover some advanced option trading. So if that interests you, stick around. We'll be moving over to that shortly.
Wisdom, give it time. We're already headed there on Earth. Jay Rice saying Intel can't bounce at all. Yeah. I think we were talking about where this could bottom at INTC. Let me see if I have
right through its 200. Right through its 200. Actually, that reminds me, how is Accenture doing? Are we still riding that 200 on Accenture? Ticker ACN. We are right on it. We're actually 20 cents below it. So here we go, folks. We're talking about this as a potential swing trade. We already had one trade on Accenture, a clean bounce off that 200-day at 332.48. We've regressed back to it. We're really kind of holding it here. We closed beneath it yesterday. Technically, right now, we're still beneath it. I think if we get 3 closes beneath this probably goes lower. What I'm looking for now on Accenture, ticker ACN, is a recapture of this 200-day, maybe a close or 2 or 3 above it, and then we can look for some more upside here. Still waiting this one out. We're in a holding pattern here with where this one is.
Great job with MDIA, guys. It's over 5 now and blasting through 550. Good.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it is.
Here we go.
Let me go back to trade the pool. SMDIA is just, this is wild.
Hey, Lynn and Randy. Hope you guys are enjoying your vacation. Yes, Daniel Perez Paul, it will be. It's shaping up to certainly be that way. I think we're headed towards the first red month of the year too.
Lion Atlas saying, guys, take your profits as you go. Don't trust this market. The world is in turmoil. Indeed. If you get profits, don't be afraid to take them, or at least scale out of them. That's something that I've been trying to focus a little bit more on here. MDIA ripping here above 6 now on MDIA.
Just be very careful with this. It could pull just as easily as it ripped.
It's for what we were just discussing. You should be selling into these strength moves, in my opinion. There is huge volume here. None of you should be trapped in your position. Lighten it up. Pay yourself on the way up. Let's do things safe. CADL, I know it kind of came back here, still holding on that VWAP. Boy, that sell at the halt was perfect. We'll take that.
Let's see what happens with MDIA when it reaches 665. That's a potential resistance level, a pretty strong resistance level. So we'll see what happens. It's either going to resist there, turn around, or just absolutely blast through it. One or the other. But I think resistance is going to take over.
Cat X here, this moving up on volume.
Yeah, MDIA, a little bit of pullback here. We can hold that 565 level. I mean, looks like we're already starting to go higher. Tender was asking.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Was asking if you held cattle yesterday.
No, I did not. So we had 3 trades on cattle yesterday. They were all of them scalps. The first 2 were green. The last one was a very small loss, and then it did its thing in the afternoon. The bigger disappointment, the scalping in the morning was fine. As far as the price action and the plan, I didn't really make a lot of mistakes there. The mistake was actually showing up to the meetings that I had in the afternoon, because cattle went ballistic later on in the day, and I was not at my terminal to trade it, which is unfortunate. I definitely would have traded that too. Probably would have done that in the main account, since I wasn't on the show here to use Trade the Pool. And because I already had profits built up in it from earlier that morning. But man, oh man, by the time I got back to that and got to happy hour, I was reading the chat, and Joe's like, yeah, it's cattle. This is just did it for the day here. And I was like, oh my God. Sometimes those meetings are expensive.
We had a gentleman in a happy hour chat that was shorting it after it had those pops. He made some pretty good money on that too. Cattle looks like if it's trying to recover here, but to me, I think we might be headed lower. If this can hold 650 later on in the day, then I think that there would be some recovery. But for the time being, it looks like it's headed lower. Sorry.
Yeah, so for cattle's actually been a good ticker here. 4 trades in 2 days, 3 of them green. So 3 for 4 over the course of 2 days. I mean, I'll take that for one of these tickers anytime. Wish I was in this MDIA fiasco that's going on right now, but
guys, we do have some more updates here. Please watch airline stocks. CNN correspondent Pete Montine has just posted on X that the FAA implements ground stops for flights bound to New York's JFK and Newark Liberty International following the 4.72 magnitude earthquake. Reuters is now reporting the FAA saying that airlines should expect delays of 30 to 45 minutes flying into New York City area airports because of the earthquakes.
Okay, well that's not so bad. A 45-minute delay is not so bad. Sometimes you get those for no reason at all. So
it's just interesting that they're causing such a ruckus over a 4.8. But I suppose
that was my first thought too.
I suppose it's because those buildings out there aren't necessarily made to withstand seismic activity like the ones over in the West Coast are. So that would be my only thought as to why they're taking those precautions. But yeah, 4.8 doesn't seem like it's, like I said earlier, not worth getting out of bed for.
Well, initial reports did have it come in at 5.5. So okay. we are working to confirm what we are seeing. Different estimates. We've had the United States Geological one, and then we've had the EMSC. So we're still working to confirm. I've seen reports 5.5, 4.7, 4.8.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. CCJ back above 50. That's I tell you what, that CCJ, that has been great. That was a great call, by the way, on that 50 move. Looks like you got we had a $2 move here today. This really did sell off yesterday with the regular market. Okay, folks, that's going to do it here for live trading. We are going to move over and do options action with Anne-Marie Band. So for all of you that are excited for that, buckle up. Here we go. Nick, thank you. You're going to join us on Monday, right?
Yep, I'll be back on Monday for the last one in about a month and a half or so.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's make it a good one. We are going to do some pre-eclipse trading on Monday. Nick, we'll see you then. Take care. Have a great weekend. Thanks for all of your work here this week. 13, thank you for everything here this week. Great stuff with the market. We're going to be back at this again. Have a great weekend, dude.
You too, guys.
All right. There goes Nick in 13. Thanks, everybody. Be sure to smash up the like for our guys here trying to give you plays all the time. And also smash up the like for Anne-Marie. We're going to go ahead and bring her on right now. Anne-Marie, happy Friday. How are you doing today?
Happy Friday to you. I'm excited to spend time with you.
Always. So I know we just kind of finished up talking about the earthquake. If you don't mind me asking, where are you located right now? Did you feel that earthquake?
I did not. I'm actually on the west coast of Florida. I'm back at our home in Florida. So,
okay, so it looks like that was it was felt along the eastern seaboard, but more north. Okay, glad that you're okay. What do you got here for us today with the options market?
So I was listening to you talk about Accenture just a little bit ago, and I thought, you know what? That would be a great formation to look at. And so we've got the chart up here, taking a peek at that. I drew this line, and I'm going to make it a little stronger so that we can see it just a bit better. We are sitting right at old support, being new resistance. Now, here's the thing. Right now, we've got a little bit of bear poking, a little saber rattling, a little X, Y, or Z from out in governments and all kinds of things getting just a little bit volatile. But the bottom line is there are a lot of managers who believed some very loud voices about recessions and the like, and they did not commit capital and have missed a big fat run. So now they're in a space where they go, well, I got to get involved. So we're still in a very much a buy the dip event. And on the daily formation, we can really see that Accenture is still in a nice upward flow. So the great thing to do there is to consider the put spread. So let's talk about what you had said just a little bit ago. You said, you know what, this one is in a little bit of a wait state. And so while it's in that wait state for us to just run full bore into a long, we can consider the short put spread, which is a bullish spread that allows us to participate in price action to win three different ways. One, the market does nothing. Two, the market runs up significantly. Or three, the market falls, but not too dramatically. And so 3 ways to make money, 1 way not to make money, that I absolutely love. So the short put spread is what I want to suggest for Accenture today. So let's hop in. We're going to keep an eye on it, and let's choose June, right? And we're going to look at where the chart is sitting and what we anticipate. So this formation, if you have Thinkorswim, this little thing on this side is a volume profile that covers all the time that sits on the top left side. So if I say 1 year on a daily chart, this formation here tells me where most of the price action sat, and it gives me an idea of where the prices are the stickiest. Okay? And so they're stickiest at 315. Now, 315 is pretty far away, relatively speaking, from where we are here. That's about $15. So what is that, 5%? Is that about 5%? Yeah. So what we're going to anticipate is that the sticky bits are where we have the safest edges. And so we're going to consider the 315, 300 short put spread. And it gives us about $3. Our delta is 11. And that's, that's a little bit higher than we normally have. But if we want to take a look and think about how big houses sell options for profit, they like their deltas to be 20 or less. So we're sitting in a very good spot for that. I think that we can see it all right. Have I made it large enough?
So I can actually make this out. Folks, if you have trouble with this, let me know. But Anne-Marie, I'll be honest, it looks a lot easier to see today than it has in the past. I can see everything on here.
All right, super. And so we're going to have a credit of 320 to 325. We've got a $15 spread. And so remember, whenever we do a trade like this, the first thing we want to do is set an alert on our chart for 315. Why do we want to set an alert there? Well, because we can sort of set it and forget it kind of thing. Now, who was the guy that first said that? Was he a Ronco guy?
That was a good infomercial for one of those stoves, right? The Ron guy.
Yes, Ron Popeil.
Yeah.
Ron Popeil, the master of
blast from the past, right there, Emery.
I'm telling you, Ron Popeil. Okay, so anyways, yeah, we set it and we don't really fret about it until the alert pops up on our screen. And what we've done is just give it a couple of months of motion. So here's the thing. We just reported just a little bit ago. And so the next time would be 621. Okay, that's the summer solstice. 621 is the summer solstice. So that would be 620 is the next time that they report. This one expires on 621. My suggestion would be put a tickler on your calendar that says, you know what, I want to cover this at 619, 618, something like that, just a few days. So what are the key tips for us talking about right here that we want to take away? Two things we want to put on our calendars when we enter into these option trades. One is the calendar of the next time that they report earnings. And we can, of course, see that on Benzinga and put an alert there. That works perfectly fine. And then we put an alert in our own calendars that say, hey, this reports in 5 days, and I've put a 315 price alert on it in the event that it starts fading. And that way you have much more control. You can almost look at a glance on your calendar and go, all right, what's going on right here? And so I love being able to do that. It helps out a lot in terms of managing a lot of different positions. Now, that was the trade that was primary on my mind. Is there something else is there something you are thinking about, or can I go to the next one maybe, or what do you think?
Yeah, you're absolutely, you can go to the next one here. My whole thing with Accenture is I'm basically just kind of waiting to see what it does around its 200-day, and then I will trade that. We can go to Meta if you'd like here. Also worth noting, Anne-Marie, I don't know if you want to do this just kind of off the cuff here. Tesla is reporting some news about them no longer selling a low price car, and the stock's getting shelled right now. So I don't know if this is trading into maybe an area that you have. I did realize that was just some recent news, so figured I'd mention it. But any stock that you want to move to is going to be fine.
Sure. Okay. So yes, Tesla is moving into a very key area. I don't want to get philosophical about that. I thought it was great where he gave all of his battery technology to everyone when he first came out. He said, hey, listen, this makes us all grow better together. And, you know, a lot of times the pioneers don't really make it to the end of the line. And so I'm not, what I do know is this. Tesla used to be a sort of a cult stock, and now the shine is coming off of them a little bit. You know, I think even doesn't Rivian have better numbers than them now? So they just, I see Rivians all over town here.
Yeah.
Have you seen any?
Yeah, so that's interesting that you're bringing that up. I do see Rivians quite a bit. Rivian, I'm pretty sure that they're losing a ton a quarter. I'd have to actually look that up here real fast. The other thing, Anne Marie, that I'll say is that, you know what I see in my area? I see a lot of Lucids in my area, and that stock can't get out of its own way. So I mean, that, you know, the stock price and seeing them on the street, I'm not sure how related those actually are.
True. So although I would say, hey, listen, in times past, we've watched Tesla bounce off of these ledges. It continues to be hit with news that is affecting it detrimentally in terms of its ability for output, whether it's the disdain of the left for Elon Musk or whatever it is. I'm not quite sure that this chart is actually going to hold. And so if we were to say, hey, this chart is going to absolutely fall off a cliff and the next place we see it is at 100. Or if we're going to say in that measured move, how long did it spend in this heavy congestion? I'm going to use this as a congestion line. So 252 to 152. So I'll say it's $100 wide. So if we had a measured move down, that means Tesla could go to $59. Holy smokes. And if we had a measured move up, it would go back to the 252. So what we could do is actually build a long iron condor that's very far out. It's sort of like a leap, right? So if we're thinking, hey, this is going to recover, or hey, this is going to go off the rails, we have no idea which one. So the question would be, well, what do we want to do? If it goes to 100 and then maybe we cap it off at 80 and then it goes back to wow, they are really, I would sell something right there. That is a lot. What is the implied vol?
This continues to sell off here, so I wonder if those implied volatility numbers are spiking because of what's going on right now.
Yeah, they are. They are definitely moving.
Yeah.
So the long put has got a $20 upside, and it's only going to cost $2.40. If you wanted to build a combo trade and you say, listen, 200, there's already 6,000 in open interest here on the volume for 200. Let's say we do look at it at 250 because it's still got a lot of premium in there. And we say, hey, I'm going to sell the 250 and buy, well, that's not a lot of premium. But if this works out, 250 to 270, you get a credit of 205, you spend a debit of 240, so your net event for a downside pressure event by December It's only going to cost you 40 cents. And what we can pretty much say is that if we stare down the chart, getting back to 250 is going to be quite the feat. My thought is that they'll stall out at 200 and they'll continue down. I believe that is the more likely thing. So what this type of trade is really a combo. It's saying, listen, I don't see it getting back up to 250. Certainly for the rest of the year, because there are just too many competitors with too much at stake doing the right things and taking away market share. That's number one. And then two, if it really collapses, then you've got, let's do a risk profile event on this one. All right, so let me see. Oh, this is so terrible for the long ones. Let me do the price slices. All right, so we've got the $20. So we've got $2,000 of upside and $200 of risk in terms of this, right? So it's about 8x if it works. What I would do is put a 50% stop loss on this, just in case it leaks and doesn't, let's say the stock takes a really long time to move down and it just leaks out. You can keep the call, but then cut the size of this position in half, or you can just clear it off with a 50% stop loss. I like using that 50% stop loss because it is, it's just really good to see in my mind, in any case. So let me do these. Let me see about the 100. If it goes to 100, we do the price slices. Yeah, I just like this is not showing us anything that's very attractive for us to see, that is easy to see. So that is my thought about what we could do with Tesla. It's a fair bet that if it fades, that $50 that it falls is fairly likely, right? I mean, we've got some motion there that shouldn't be. Why is this here? All right. Yeah. So that is my thought there. If per happenstance you are a true believer in Tesla, then the short put is the better bet. And so if you're looking at a short put and you're saying, listen, I know what's going on. Everybody's just in a bit of a whatever about it. I'm just going to anticipate that this holds a round number of heavy congestion, and that might be somewhere around the 120-ish area. And so you can also consider selling the 120, 110 call spread. Now, those deltas are very low. So these are deltas that are very advantageous to price being in our favor overall. And so that I really like those two. The last one I want to pop onto us is Meta.
Okay.
Meta is running off the rails, just
Sure
doing
is.
fantastically well. They have earnings. So for the first time, we'll consider the earnings trade. Now, why do I want to consider an earnings trade? Well, last earnings, monstrosity of a move. I mean, kapow, really. And earnings before that, we had a fade, but then a move to the north. And then the earnings before that, we had a bounce and then a move to the south. And here we had a bounce and then sort of a hold, a little bit of a fade, and then a move to the north. Here, another move to the north. Here, savage move to the south, and then a move to the north. So when you see the likelihood of two types of motions, we can look at the butterfly. And so let's consider a cheap double butterfly for Meta. Because remember, the double butterfly might do a little bit, it might do a little bit of nothing. Okay? So the first thing we want to think about is upside pressure. And since we're at all-time highs, let's consider. Did you want to say something, Ryan?
Yeah, well, I was just saying that the earnings date for Meta is confirmed for April 24th. So it's going to be after hours, April 24th. I don't think we discussed the actual date there. And I don't think that was visible when it popped up before.
Thank you very much. So it does show here, April 24th. I'm going to put a timeline right there, reminding us that it's there. So what could we have happen? Well, a couple of things. We could bounce a ton higher and continue running higher, or we could bounce a little bit to the north and then fade, or we could fade and then bounce. So a double butterfly is going to give us some exposure here. What we want to do is make it cheap, because if we're wrong, both of them are going to collapse in price. So the first thing we want to do is give it some time. So we're going to go to June.
Okay.
Now, if it goes gangbusters and it moves very, very, very fast, one side is going to collapse, the other side's going to expand, and we'll all be happy. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Let's look at the breakout range. All right. Everything ends up always being about what is the breakout range. So notice we have two areas from 453 to I'm going to say 83 to make it easy, right? The price point. So that's $30 there. And then interestingly enough, it's another $30 there, right? So it literally moved 1x here, 2x here. And so if we add $30 to this number, we will get 545, right? 550, something like that. Now, so that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a top edge here at 550. That's going to be the middle strike of what we're going to look for. And then 453 down here gives us the middle strike of what we're going to look for. 485 is the middle strike of what we're going to look for. So 485 and 550.
Okay.
Let me write that down because I don't have any memory left.
Neither do I. I'm glad to meet somebody else that has the same affliction that I do. I have trouble remembering what happened 5 minutes ago.
I know, right? I'm like, wait, did I eat breakfast? Yeah, it's very bad. I'm serious. It's very. I talked to somebody and they went, that's a sign of stress. I'm like, tell me something I don't know.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. Okay, so if we take a look at Meta here, I have that there. I'm going to shop for that. So we're going to go to June, and 485 is going to be our middle strike. So let's go backwards. We want to make sure that, I don't know, let's see if we can have a cheap $15 spread. Okay, let's see how much. Whoops, that's a sell. I don't want that. Let's look at a buy. Let's ignore this one for now. I'm going to close that out. So we're going to buy the 500. We're going to sell the 485s. if we buy the 465s, which gives us $5 more of exposure, so there's going to be a risk event here that collapses into the wherevers, right? The credit, it'll actually give us a credit on the butterfly, which is fantastic if it doesn't move. If, per happenstance, it does move, what we would need, let me move these price slices. What we really need is the 470. So let's see how much the 470 is. It's $1, okay? Oh, well, it's all over the place. See if you can get it for under $1, but it's moving all over the place. All right, so that is the put side. And now for the call side. We want 550 to be the middle strike. We want it to be $15 wide, so we'll go 535 to 550 to 565, 88 cents. So for a $2 spread, we have the potential profitability for a $1,500. For a $200 spread, we have a potential for a $1,500 return.
Okay, so that's pretty good risk to reward right there.
It is. It is. Now, notice the deltas. This is telling us that this entire thing has a very low reward event in general. So the way the butterfly works is for us to manage it. And so let me explain a couple of things. I need to snapshot this because it's just super important. I'm going to snapshot this and then we're going to go to the actual chart.
Okay.
Okay. So here's what we have to do. We have to put an alert on at 550. Your goal when you have a butterfly is to, if it's moving in your favor, you close it as soon as it meets the middle strike. Now, we just did this on the Benzinga Pro platform with XOP. We had 160 as our middle strike, and we just closed it yesterday because it jammed right up into it. And so that's the key thing to remember. When you take these butterflies, the sweet spot is the middle strike. Now, if that middle strike happens to come tomorrow or whenever, right, you close it. Simply because it's got a June expiry, you don't do anything with it. Now, if it happens in June, it's going to make you a lot more money. But if it happens in May, you're still going to probably double your money. And so that becomes the key thing to watch. Make sure you set an alert. And when it gets to the middle strike, you get out of Dodge. And so I'm going to put 548 there. And I'm going to put an alert there. And then I'm going to choose I've got 485 there sitting already. Okay. So that being said, that's what we're looking at. Here's something else that could happen. You might say, but Anne-Marie, what if it moves all the way up and then it falls like a stone? Your goal is to try to get it out at the middle strike. So if it jams up into 550 on the 24th or the 25th, whenever you come back in to the market, your goal is to go, you know what? I'm getting out of that long butterfly, right? You can give it a day if you like. Give it a day, let it run, and then close it out. Because my suspicion, based on the nature of the market, right, recent past predicts near-term future, all of it's been sideways. All of it's been sideways. So I expect the call side to either move up and then collapse, or the put side to either pull down and then bounce. So our goal is to make money on both sides of this butterfly.
That is awesome. That is the way to do things. 3 trades here today, Anne-Marie. We did it. We crammed 3 good options trades into the time that we had. Absolutely awesome. You finished right there on the spot too. So, okay, well done. Thank you very much. I think maybe we should, well, I guess let's see what happens. Maybe we can check in on these trades on Tuesday or Friday next week.
I would love to do that.
Okay, so I think that'll be the plan. We might not have any movement by then, but let's see. I mean, who knows what's going to happen over the weekend.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we can have trade review of what else is going on.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Okay, awesome. And now Zunaid, it looks like we did it right on the head there. Our timing's pretty good.
Right at 11:30. I love it. Anne-Marie, always good to see you. I hope you enjoyed your vacation in Portugal.
Portugal, yes.
Yeah,
yes. It was a nice time away. Oh my gosh, you guys got to go for the surf.
Really?
Right? That's where they have the 100-foot waves.
I'm so glad that you
waves.
think we have the coordination and the balance. I appreciate the confidence. I really do.
No, you don't want to surf it. People die there every year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, I can barely walk.
People die at this place every year. Zunaid, Ryan, you guys gotta go.
That's how you know Benzinga is firing us. We got an all expense paid trip to this.
All right, listen, I'll pack you my luggage.
You're gonna need a big suitcase for me. Emery, thanks so much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
See you. Bye, guys.
Yeah, bye. Take care.
All right, Zunaid, good luck on your show. Have a great weekend. We'll see you.
Absolutely. We go ahead and move on from options to options. And now we're going to go ahead and bring on Sandra to go ahead and kick things off. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Have you surfed? I know you've done some cool stuff in life.
I was laughing because, I did try my hand when I was younger at surfing, and I couldn't believe how difficult it is. I often use the analogy of surfing with trading, by the way. Really? So, I use it quite a bit because there's just so many parallels. You do all this work, right? You do all your homework, you wake up early in the morning, you're listening to the surf report as an example. You get all your gear, you're throwing it in the truck, you drive out to the beach. Now you're there, you got to put everything on. Yeah. You work yourself past the break. And then once you're there, what do? You're waiting for the perfect wave. And that's exactly what we do as traders.
I like the patience. I like it. Okay. That makes perfect sense. Well, I'll tell you what, I know you've got your screen ready to go. So let's go ahead and bring that up and tell me what you're kind of looking at. So you've got Etsy up. Is this something you've traded? What are we looking at here?
Yeah. Looking at this for a swing. So I have it on an hourly chart. Looking at Etsy for $4.19 for a 70 call. So I'm going to put that on right now. The reason is because you can see where I have this indicator kind of identifying where the support level is. And we came down on an hourly for support. We hit it. It held, got a green bar, and really wanting this to kind of go up here for, our first level is going to be here at where the 20 EMA is, as well as this. There's a little tiny gap right there, but looking for some time to take place and have this, because Etsy's not a super fast mover, so it may take some time, but looking really at these targets up here at 66 and then 67 and then 68, coming right back up to this consolidation area.
So nothing's been triggered for you yet.
What was that?
So has anything been triggered for you? Like, is that green block your order block in terms of like where you'd like to purchase, or are you going to wait for the break?
No, I actually like this green block as a identifier for a bounce, as well as this Darvis band. And so we're these Darvis bands have been here for since yesterday. And so you can see that we're basically bouncing off of support. And as well, the Darvis band is actually lining up, which gives just a little bit more confluence with the previous pivot low, which is that red dotted line across the screen. So that really just kind of solidifies that, okay, this may be moving here for a swing trade. So I like looking at that as well as the 15, and you can kind of see that it's mirroring that same event. Once it hits this 20, so these are starter positions. So once it hits and bypasses my 20 EMA,
Yeah.
On a 15-minute, then I'm going to be adding to the position. So
Okay.
as a starter, I'm just kind of like feeling my way for a swing. And then as it's starting to, agree with my thesis, then I'm going to add to it. And so let's go ahead and put that on. So if we
Yeah.
look at Etsy, sorry, my screen is slow.
No, you're good.
And we're looking at April 19th. Because it's kind of a slow mover, just in case it kind of consolidates here for a little bit, don't want that theta decay to hit us too badly. So looking at the 70 call, and maybe put a couple of those on as a starter.
Cool. So you're buying the 70 strike calls that expire here in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And I didn't see. Did you try to limit that, or I guess
Yeah,
what was your full price? There it is.
No, I just did a limit order.
Okay, cool. So awesome. So you got filled at 64 cents, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. And then I was looking at.
And while you're moving the charts here real quick, this is Thinkorswim, which is now a part of Charles Schwab. So that, people will convert over there. Just a heads up,
Yes.
Cyber. But at the moment, you are looking at what is Thinkorswim. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, thank you for that. Looking at Thinkorswim, and I just noticed that my platform within the last couple of weeks has been a little slower. I don't know if anybody else. I'm curious to see if anybody else out there is experiencing these same issues. But as a scalper, that's gonna make you sweat bullets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is not good. So now we're looking at Planter here. So let's go over to a 1 hour. And what I saw with this is that, it's hitting the 20 and we're just breaking above our weekly expected move today. So what I'd like to see is this act as support, the 20, as well as the weekly point of control, which is this white line that you see.
Yeah.
And really going right back up to some resistance here. So we have, a lot of room here. So looking at Planter for an April 19th, this will be a call for $25 call.
$25 calls. And that's the expiration on it?
Is April 19th.
Okay, so it's still okay. Got it. So still the 19th on that one. And what would your stop loss be? Or is this something where it's kind of like, hey?
Yeah, I would consider these like starter positions where I'm going to give it a little bit of room, maybe about a 30% loss, and then I would cut it. If it's not happening within that period of time, I cut it because as traders, we're looking for a 20-30% gain when we take off a first target, right? So I kind of look at that in the same sense of, okay, I'll give it that much room to see if it starts to work itself out. If it doesn't, then my thesis is wrong, and I preserve my capital for the next one.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to go and throw up my chart here for a second.
Sure.
And kind of switch gears. So SMCI, right? Here's this beautiful 1 hour, 65 minute trend line that I had drawn. Now, I work full time, so I often tell the viewers that I miss trades because I'm busy, right?
Yes.
Let me kind of show. So here's a trade I would have taken, not just because it's hindsight, but because I literally had the levels drawn out. But sometimes when it comes to SMCI, the options are too juicy, right? They're too expensive, and the movement might be a little bit too volatile than what I or our viewers are okay with. Okay. How would you play this if you wanted to play it to the downside? Like what spread, I guess, would you look to put on?
Absolutely. No? I would do a call credit spread.
Okay.
And what that, the interesting thing is what platform do you use? Do you have any type of?
I have, so I use Thinkorswim, I use TradeStation, and I use E-Trade. So it just depends on,
Yeah, what I love is because I'm in the same boat. I do most of my trading by automation. Yeah. And so what's really nice is because you have the levels drawn out, you can identify that level and then just create a call credit spread, especially if IV is high or the premiums are high. Yeah. This will allow you to actually take advantage of options being expensive because you're going to be a seller of this credit spread. And as a seller, you get a credit. And you can actually either take, something that's out of the money to give yourself some protection if this was a longer term trade,
Yeah.
or you can also just do it directional and at the money, which is, typically you get, it's 1-to-1.
Yeah.
So if you got an at the money call credit spread right at that level, and you could ride that out as a swing, or even a day trade. You could utilize spreads to take advantage of those high premiums, as well as the chop, right? If you're if you're holding through like a swing position and you have a lot of chop, people just hate that and they hate holding through it.
Yeah.
But that's what a spread does, is allows you to really have diamond hands and to be able to hold that position to wait, for your thesis to work out. Sometimes it just doesn't work out as quickly as you want. And buy calls and puts.
So I'd be selling. So say if I wanted to go short when, yesterday, right, when it kind of opened up, I assume I'd be selling like, let's say 1,000, strike put, and then buying like the 980 or the 950, whatever risk / credit I was okay with. Is that the way that I would put that trade on?
Yes, exactly. And I don't use TradingView for actual trading, but just some charts. But I would definitely put that on my analyze graph as an example for Thinkorswim, and then see how that looks. In fact, I don't know if you want me to do that right now.
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
What was that? It was a SMCI.
Now it's a little different, right? It's SMCI. It's super microcomputer. But let me see if I can find a ticker that might be somewhat in play. Oh, you know what?
Oh, that would have been a nice play yesterday, by the way.
I really have to.
At the 1056 level. I see what you're saying.
I feel like I'm gonna need to. Oh, you know what? Here, let me ask you this one. Okay, so I'm gonna share my chart again just to see what your insights are on this one, and we can go to putting on a trade, or showing people how to put it on if you'd like.
Sure.
Here's AMD. Let me kind of back it up a little bit. Here is the trend line on it, right? So you have this touch point, and you can always tell me, hey, I don't think this trend line is valid anymore. I would love nothing more than your honest feedback. But here's a trend line that I had drawn. We broke it, came back, kind of held the support, broke, and now what I'm wanting is this level here also was support. We broke. What I'm wanting is for here to now act as resistance, right? So AMD isn't as volatile. I can afford to deal with the put side of this. However, let's go ahead and put on a trade, or see how a trade would look if I wanted to sell something in May, where I believed the stock would come back to at least the 165. So I assume we would sell maybe like the 169 and buy the 165. I don't know. But what do you think? Well, first off, what do you think about this chart? Do you agree with my thesis? If not, I'd love to get your opposite thought process.
So I do see, this kind of head and shoulder pattern. It took the dive down. It's actually, you always, right now it's actually breaking above your trend line, but I see that you drew a little box here. So really,
and that's because of this right here. So this is where we had support. So then coming here, it's like, okay, yes, it's above my trend line. However, this is kind of like the area that I believe you'll face a resistance, right? So if this went to like, let's say 174, I would say, you know what? I was wrong. I'm closing this trade.
Exactly.
If it goes to 164, 165, I was right. I'm cashing out is how I kind of look at it.
Yeah, I like your trend line. I like what you have going on here. I would say, the break of that green trend line would be your entry point.
Okay, got it. And then how would you, so we would sell like the 170 and then buy.
Yeah, let me take a look at that really quick.
Yeah, AMD. And then whenever you're ready, I'll put up your AMD,
And you were on a 5-minute chart, right?
I was on a 65-minute chart.
Oh, that's an interesting time period.
Yeah, and I've been, like, I don't know about you, but like, folks that listen to you, they get the nuggets from you, and so same way in Twitter sphere, the market goes from 9:30 to 4, right? And so the hour 60 minutes candle wouldn't really justify what the day actually looked like, if you will, because you would have some pre-market involved in that from 9 to 9:30. So the 65-minute gives me an accurate idea of what happened during the market times, or at least that's what someone told me. I haven't done the math. But yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. I've never heard that, but I always say that trading is subjective, and so if you
Yeah.
really like that time period and it works for you, keep it. So you said May. You want to go out to May 17th on the monthly?
Yes, let's go out to May 17th if I believed. Or actually, yeah, May 17th. Yeah, that's fine. May or April, either way.
So looking for a bearish trade on AMD, you could take an at the money. You're selling the vertical. That would be like a 175, 180 right here. If you did that, you get a $2.05 credit.
Okay.
And your max loss on this is 300. Of course, you're going to program a stop loss on here if your thesis doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And then you could do it by stock price, by the way, which is the best way to automate your trade on any advanced order like a credit spread. And then your max profit on here is $2. So not bad. You're getting a $2 credit. That's as much as you can make on it. If you were to forget about this and don't do the automation and you end up losing this trade, you're losing $300 off of it. But it's great for sideways action and directional for going being a bearish trade.
So I am, by the way, Lion, it is AMD that we are currently looking at, ticker AMD. So you're saying that my reward is approximately $2 or $2, and then my risk is 300 if I don't do anything and AMD just goes north of 200 or whatever the price point may be. But if I don't close it out, if I don't get it, so I'm risking. Now, obviously, in terms of risk reward, that's not like a 1-to-1. How do you kind of justify when you're in these situations? Because I know this trade, the idea wasn't, I know you're not recommending it or whatever, but just when you are looking at like, I'm risking 300, my reward's 200. How are you justifying being okay with that? Like what odds are you kind of looking at? You know what? Yeah, but this is going to work out more often than not.
Well, actually, this is, this right here is typically speaking, when you get an at the money credit spread, it's typically kind of a 1-to-1. In this situation, it's not, which is interesting to me. However, if there are days where there's sideways action or, this goes up a little bit, it's not going to affect you as much as if you were to take as an example, maybe a put debit spread. So with a put debit spread, if deltas, if the options are inexpensive, as an example, it'd be better to take a put debit spread, and it's still hedged because you're still, again, buying a put, selling a put. So it has the same kind of reaction. Credit spreads are great if you really feel like there's going to be a ton of consolidation in the next couple of weeks, because that's where the credit spread actually is more beneficial than a put or any type of debit spread, because the debit spread acts as like a straight call or a put, depending on which side you're choosing, and is really just directional, where I think that the credit spread, you actually earn more money as theta's burning.
Gotcha. Okay. Totally understand that. And let's see, right? I'm actually going to, you know what? Let me do this. Let me open up. I'm going to put this trade on. Let me open up my Thinkorswim. Okay. Give me 1 second. I should have probably logged in earlier.
In my case, it's like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. So it's, I mentioned I use different brokers. So I use TradeStation because it's integrated with TradingView. So I can just, whenever I trade stocks themselves, I can just kind of click-clack, and then I'm in the trade. I'm good to go.
Oh, nice.
Matter of fact, let me do that right now as well. So here's what we'll do. TradeStation, connect. All right. I should be in here in a second. Oh, nope. I got to put in my 6-digit code. Give me a sec. Here's it is. Oh,
good. You're getting a spinning wheel. Now I don't feel so bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. So we're here. So I'm connected. Let's go ahead and, all right, so we're short AMD here. We're going to risk approximately, here, I'm going to move it right above this blue. Yeah, let's go right there. So we're risking about $250, and we'll see if it wants to come back in. And, if it does, we'll make about $200. Let me actually get this profit. Cool. So we have our trade on. And then for the folks that are just watching and new to the show, this is real money. Whatever happens here, if it happens the next 11 minutes, we'll update you. If not, I won't be moving my target. So whatever happens here, happens here. But
now, are you shorting stock here? Or are you doing a credit spread?
So I'm going to do two. I shorted the stock here because I wanted to show the TradeStation the way that I utilize it. So I am short 200 shares right now on AMD. I am also going to see, I have my Thinkorswim up now. And so I'm going to try to put on the actual trade that you have. So let's see, you go to, and I don't really use Trading View or Trade Station, or excuse me, Thinkorswim that way. But we said May, right?
Yes.
I think I'm going to go to, if I go to April 19th, and I can share my, give me a second here. I'm going to maybe go 19th. I think I'll go 19th.
You can do this a number of ways. You know, you could do an at the money or you could do an out of the money. So if you do an out of the money, you know, you're risking a lot more on the table, but you're farther away from price.
Yeah.
So different kind of ways you can do credit spreads, of course, but I know we're not doing a lesson on that today.
So we've got, so we've got the 170. So would I go ahead and sell the 170 then?
Yeah, you know what I do is there's a drop-down menu right up there that says single. You can do vertical.
Oh, am I not special enough to have? I don't know if I have permissions.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I was. Okay, that's what it is. Never mind. We tried.
Let me show you on this. I'll put this on and I can update you next week and let you know how you did. And
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you like the trade idea, obviously, right? But anyway, I just wanted to kind of show the folks how you can have a trade on not just on the equity side, but also on the option side, no matter what type of trader you are, because some people like directional. So some people in the chat may say, you know what, I'm just going to swing a put single directional going out to whether it's April 19th, whether it's May. Then others might say, I'm a little bit more risk averse. I want to go ahead and have a little bit of hedge that I can go ahead and put on as well. So we'll see. We'll see which way it goes ahead and plays out. I can actually go ahead and share your charts now. Sure. If you want to obviously put the trade on, it's totally your call. Obviously.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. So in this situation, as an example, if we take a look at it on an analyze graph and just say, analyze your trade. I love this feature about Thinkorswim and I totally recommend it if you haven't used it before.
Got it.
Is you can actually, visually see the trade on your graph. So you could kind of take a look at this and say, okay, what, and you look at this box right here and you could say, all right, so I need to stay basically right over here to be able to get that full credit. So you can see how much room you have on this credit spread, but you do end up losing, some money if it ends up, going higher. So at least, if you were to, let's say, click it right here, you can identify the exact stock price right there, 177.07, and you can program that in for a trade. So let me go ahead and take this trade.
So we're looking to sell it at $2.
Yep. So
awesome.
We just got it. We just sold it at 2. I'll let you know how it goes. And I'm basically going to let, I'm basically going to give this a little bit of room and see, how it opens up on Monday, right? I think that'll give us a good sense of what's happening in the market. You may not want to, risk anymore because after it passes here, what are the odds? You'd have to do some back testing, but what are the odds when your price breaches your credit spread legs? Do you end up being profitable? And oftentimes it's not very many.
Yeah, it looks like a steep decline there. Is there ever going to be a situation, taking a look at AMD, where you're going to close one of the legs and not the other? Or is it just like, nope, I went in with the spread, I'm out with the spread?
Yeah, you can do that, especially if it's moving fast. But, I feel like our market, except for yesterday, which was so much fun to take a part of. Did you get to take a part of that bearish move there?
I did not. I literally was complaining to a coworker. I was like, bro, I've got to set alerts on my phone through TradingView so that when X happens, I get alerted so I can stop my client meetings and be like, hold on, sir, I need to place a trade. But no, I did not. But I'm sure a lot of people made a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I was on a Zoom and got off and I looked, I was like, oh my gosh, anything you got into, it worked out. So that was kind of fun to do. But oftentimes, when managing your trade, you really have to be able to have the ability to take a look at a smaller period, like a 1 minute, a 3 minute, and start identifying, an intraday trade and really see if it's worth it. Because once you get rid of that other leg, then you're not hedging your position anymore, and then your losses can accelerate. So it all depends on like your risk appetite and how proficient you are basically at scalping and intraday trading to make that profitable.
Gotcha. That makes perfect sense. Anything
Yeah,
you're looking out? Yeah. go
between
ahead.
you and me, I'd rather just close out the spread and then
Yeah.
jump into a straight call as an example in this case,
Yeah.
straight call and try to get that movement to recoup my
Yeah.
loss on the credit spread.
Yeah, especially because then you have to be like, oh, wait, I made this much money, but now I have this single thing to take care of. And depending on which way it flows, that you kind of, you put on the trade to have less risk.
That's right.
You might as well take it off so you can have less risk. We've got about 5 minutes with you. So any idea in terms of what we're looking at for next week? Any setups that you're patiently waiting, like you said with the surf analogy, that you're waiting for the waves to kind of come to you? Are there any tickers, anything you're looking out to next week, next month, anything?
Oh gosh, right now, been playing. I don't know if you remember 2 weeks ago we were talking about gold and silver, so those ended up being actually profitable trades.
Nice.
Still looking at silver, looking at Oxy right now. I don't know if if any of your viewers pay attention to option flow. Ton of money going into Oxy right now. So I think that people are hedging themselves, right? They're wanting to see how this actually works out. So with yesterday's, break of some key levels, this really puts us in a situation to where, wait a minute, is this going to give us an opportunity to go up higher?
Yeah.
Or are we now going to make a lower low?
So here's, I assume OXY, right? That's the ticker we're talking about here.
Yes.
So yeah, you can see, you mentioned the flow coming in. You can see the rise for the past few days itself as well. Is this here? Let's see. It is definitely recent highs, right? So you talked about the levels. So for me, let's kind of just quickly draw this puppy out. You've got that level there, which we are now above. So if I just go to the 65, then I'll go to and now my thing froze. That's always great. That's always awesome. Let's see if we can just.
Yeah, the 70 call, May 17th, 70 call. I took a couple yesterday, up 27% this morning.
Nice. Should have had you on the show yesterday. Let's see what we got. So yeah, you've got the break that we kind of talked about, right? You can see how it struggled to get above that, and now it's coming down, and we'll be good to go if it comes. So how are you playing this one?
Just taking a 70 call for May 17th.
So what you already had. Got it.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna ride that out a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
what are your targets?
I'm gonna raise my stop. Let me take a look at that.
Let me see if I can.
I usually like to, around 20, 25%, take some off, raise my stop to break even. And then this is looking really good for a continuation going forward. Let me see if we just broke out of our weekly expected move. That typically means that the next following week, we're also going to be bullish. So looking to see if that holds true. We're at kind of a resistance point right here on an hourly, and I can see the momentum kind of like leveling off. Yeah. So it may need, some room to breathe, the ebb and flow, because nothing goes up in a straight line. Yeah. But looking for support around 68.42. Okay. And then below that, my maybe reevaluate would be at 68.19. But really hoping to stay above this 68.50 level. Yeah. If we can stay above that level, it's going to be a really nice trade for next week for a continuation. Yeah. And then I would just actually still take a look at option flow to see if it's still coming in. When you start seeing, over and over, orders coming in with urgency, you recognize that. And, this Middle Eastern conflict that we have right now is helping to kind of catapult oil higher, right? Yeah. Because that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, no question about that. And what's interesting about option flow is you definitely want to keep an eye on what's coming in. However, you also want to keep an eye on what's going out, right? So exactly. You may see an influx of, I don't know, it's for easy math, 1,000 contracts coming in. But similar to what you said, you come in with a spread, you get out with a spread. If you're following the big money in, you want to follow the big money out. That's right. As well. So I think you got, and there's no clear cut way to know However, there are different things that you can do in terms of keeping an eye on the price. So are these contracts rising in price, or are they going down in price? That kind of tells you if it's a buy or sell. Is the IV going in one direction or another? Is the spot price, aka the stock price, when these option trades are happening, is that going up or down? So we kind of have these insights and personality traits, I guess you can say, to know what is happening, but there isn't like a surefire way to kind of see what's going on. But awesome. Any final thoughts before we hop off here?
No, I would just say that, if you're using some sort of indicator that identifies what the weekly expected moves are, you can calculate those just by going over to your trade tab and taking a look at them. But my gosh, if you have an indicator on your chart that shows you that on each and every ticker you have, it's so easy to be able to see, what the expected move, and it includes the volatility. So it's really nice that it gives you the point of control. It gives you the, the resistance level as well as the support level. And then that helps you to plan out your trade as well as the next following week. Because on Friday, you'll be able to see that on your chart.
Awesome. And of course, you guys can check out Trading Made Simple. Tell the folks where they can find you on Twitter as well. I'll post your
yes, on X, I'm options_Sandy. And on the web, you can get me at tradingmadesimple.org.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Sounds great.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Take care, chat. Bye.